Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brewbuilt X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brewbuilt Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brewbuilt line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brewbuilt X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brewbuilt Conicals. You can trust Brewbuilt with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brewbuilt at morebeer.com.
Home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, beer drinkers.
Get ready for an all-new experience in information exchange and beer culture.
Your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers from around the globe
right to your home.
You're not just listening to broadcasters, it's the Brewcasters
on the Brewing Network.
Wow. That wasn't fun, John.
That was a close call.
Barely back for week 7.
Barely.
It is week 7, right, Doc?
Yeah, I think it's
counting. No, I actually got you this time. I just had you low.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Barely.
Yeah, I got to the door. I thought I was out of a job for the week.
I didn't know what to do with myself.
It's week 6.
No, it's week 7. Isn't it? It's only week 6?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We're ahead of the curve.
Yeah. How the time flies.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry about the late start, kids. Apparently our stream was down and no one knew it. Except for a few of you guys and half of me. But the other half of me thought everything was working fine.
It's up and running now, though. Shit.
Yeah, it was a weird glitch because some people could tune in. So for every post I got that it wasn't working, I got a post that it was working fine. And turns out it wasn't working. Our Abacast went ahead and canceled us, John. That's what ended up happening.
I forgot to pay the bill.
I just got off the phone with them, and they're like, yeah, your account expired. And I was like,
are you serious?
Yeah.
I thought you were just kidding.
No, they said my account expired. I said, really? How does that happen?
Can I get a refund?
Yeah. So they said, yeah, whoops.
Let us fix that right now.
Yeah, so they fixed it at about 5:01.
Wow.
And then it was just a mad dash because, man, we were about to kick our feet up and just drink for the afternoon.
Yeah, we were.
I got a hall pass.
Now we had to do that and have a show.
Yeah, so we had to scramble to get things going for you. But we're back. Couple heads up. Daniela's not working the chat room, although she might get back here later. She has to actually work today, like work a real job that pays her. So,
about time.
When she's done with that, she'll be here. In the meantime, John's
we'll let you know as soon as she gets here.
Yeah. Oh, you'll know. You can almost feel her presence at the other end of the microphone. I don't know what that means, but
can you feel me?
I can't feel your presence, John.
Can feel his microphone.
John, yeah, you guys can feel his microphone in the chat room if you want. He's going to be helping you out though, but he's going to be doing the show at the same time. So if he's not,
I'll multitask.
Yeah, if he's not quite as attentive as Daniela, don't yell at him.
Yeah,
too much.
Well, that's a given.
Yeah,
from German.
So. Anyway, why don't we recap a little bit of last week and let you guys know what's going on this week? How about that? We actually even canceled our guest today and then rescheduled him all in about 5 minutes.
Yes.
So he's on his way now. It's the brewer from Drake's. What's his name, John?
Roger Davis.
Thank you. Roger Davis from Drake's is coming in today.
He's bringing some cask-conditioned ales, basically, from some barrels.
Really?
Yeah, for us to try.
Is he actually?
I didn't even know you brewed like that, so I'm kind of curious.
Is he actually bringing the barrel, or you got to put it in a bottle?
He put it in the bottle just for the show.
Oh.
He's got some shirts to give away and stuff, so.
Is that silly of me to think that you could just bring the barrel?
Yes, it is. You have a portable forklift?
They're that big? They're not like the size of kegs?
No, they're 60-gallon barrels, man.
Like wine barrels, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Full of beer.
Oh, come on, we could have gone down and helped them, right?
Could have.
The straw.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I'm excited to try that, though. So he's coming in now. We only half canceled him. He was cool. He's like, yeah, well, let me know if you get it working.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
So it's a good thing about brewers that we have in here. Slightly different than other shows, of different contexts, because brewers are pretty laid back. If you call and cancel, they're like, all right, sweet, I'm half drunk anyway, so I'll see you next week, So that's a pretty good deal.
Yes.
So we got Drake's coming in, and also our discussion for today is going to be water. We're going to talk all about water.
A basic touch on the surface.
We don't want to scare anybody, but if you got the tough questions, which a lot of you do, we know that, then we'll answer them. Dr. Scott's ready for you, aren't you,
I'm
Doc?
ready.
This is his show, basically.
So we're ready for the tough questions, but for those of you who are brewing just fine without knowing too much about water, then don't worry, don't let us scare you, but we're just going to let you know about the chemistry of some things you could change if you wanted to. And if you were having problems, we'll let you know what parts of your water might have been causing
Right,
it.
you
So
could possibly be not getting everything out of it you want to, and there's a reason for it. You swear you're doing everything right, and it's just not everything you want it to be, and it could be just your water, and you can fix that.
Right. So we're going to tell you how. I'm going to tell you all the parts about your water, why you might want to change water, and even tell you about the water you're using if it's working fine.
Yes.
So there you go. That's just in a few minutes we're going to get to that. Last week, which I had a great time. I think it was a good show last week. We had Jameel on the show.
Yeah, it turned out well.
We've gotten a lot of good responses since then throughout the week about the show. Everyone was real happy to get information out of Jameel.
And Jameel's stoked too, so.
Yeah, he was happy to be here.
Yeah.
He said he'd come back anytime.
Yeah.
It's weird because before the show when Jameel came in, we're sitting outside of the studio, and he said, I'm glad I could make it this Sunday. Sundays are tough for me. I do family things on Sundays. Sometimes we go boating. So he just let us know that Sundays are tough. After the show, I can come back anytime. You guys let me know. I'll come back anytime. Which was cool. I'm glad he had a good time, and he definitely helped us out. At one point during the week, somebody in the forum actually recapped everything he learned from the show. And it was great. And I learned that stuff too. He really caught all the same things that I took note of that I went away with. Like that 10-minute bittering.
Yeah, that was great.
I think everybody wants to try that.
Yeah, everyone I think is really excited.
I did that today on my brew,
about.
actually.
Oh, you did?
I did.
So what did you brew, an IPA or what?
I'm doing a 5-gallon starter for a batch I'm doing tomorrow.
Okay.
And I pitched the Northern Brewer hops in the last 15 minutes.
Okay.
I'm doing a Cal Common tomorrow, but I'm doing a 5-gallon starter. And I just used like 12 pounds of extract.
Okay.
But I didn't want an overwhelming bitterness. I just,
What's a 5-gallon starter?
Well, I'm doing a 50-gallon brew tomorrow, so. But I want to have an active starter.
He has a friend with a 50-gallon system.
Yeah.
But why do you start
No, it's for the yeast starter.
Yeast starter.
Oh, it's just a yeast starter.
Yeah.
Oh, but you got to have 5 gallons of yeast in order to do. I got you
Just
now.
a big active pitch,
Okay, now I'm with you.
Yeah.
It's a yeast starter. Okay.
But I'm trying the bitterness.
Yeah.
It was there too in the hydrometer jar, so it turned out well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I think everyone was really excited about that. And everybody who I know, who I talked, all the other brewers throughout the week, it's one of the first things I said to them. I was like, hey, you gotta try this out. Check this out. And I told everybody about it. Because it was a cool thing to try.
Yeah.
And he gave us lots of other good information too. A good review of Crotch Rot's beer, who he sent me an email thanking us for
And I have
doing
some beer to send to that winner too.
Okay, you gotta send that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, he was like, you need to send this. This can't be drank,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Because he knows we're going to intercept that
he
stuff.
was.
Don't worry. If you're listening, you who won the beers last week, you're going to get them. John,
I
John's
needed
no
that
thief.
dish.
And he didn't send one.
I think I have the
3
address.
beers.
I have
You
it.
get all 3.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
Vanilla porter,
Yeah.
the 60 shilling?
80 shillings.
80 shilling.
That's the
and-
Scotch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And what else did we, I don't remember the other one, but.
I don't know. Brown?
You guys
The Brown?
Yeah, the brown.
Yeah, it was a brown.
Northern Brown.
Man, that was good too. That Scotch and the Brown,
Yeah.
those really hit the spot for me.
They were tasty.
So that was a cool show, and then we talked all about beer styles, and during the game we played in the beginning, actually people really liked the game too. I can't do it every week, guys, I gotta tell you right now, it's just not gonna happen. I am planning on getting you a game next week, so beginning of the show next week we'll do another trivia game like that, because it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I just can't do it every week. I was busy trying to get other things done, which I'll tell you about in a second.
Okay.
But a lot of people like that, and we did the style discussion sort of starting there as one of the categories, and that's where Jameel just cleaned house.
Yeah.
Yeah, he pretty much he cleaned that whole section
Yeah, I
out,
don't even
and
think-
then he just sat there the rest of
Yeah,
the
he didn't have to do anything. That's his style. He's like, get it all done in the beginning, and then
Yeah.
I can chill.
You didn't even get to finish your question.
Yeah. So that was cool, but it was a good show, and I'm going to get that game back for you guys next week. So I'll try to develop some other ones.
What
This
about
week,
future guest? I mean, did you get my email? I mean, are you thinking about the guy? TF, I don't know.
Yeah, you want to talk about that? Let's talk about that because I wanted to mention this anyway. I wanted to discuss our forums a little bit more.
Yeah, okay.
We had our first fight in the forum this week. Did you guys see that?
It was flaming, baby.
It was.
You know what's interesting is that we just had the discussion about whether or not forums should be moderated. Yeah. We just talked about that with Jamil because he's the moderator for B3, right?
Right.
And we had just discussed, and me sort of saying, I don't want to moderate, and I'm not sure I need a moderator yet. Everyone's been real cool.
And then Friday comes up, and
I jinxed us, man.
You did.
It was a small fire, though. It was really a small fire, and in the end, the two were totally cool.
Yeah.
They didn't, exactly kiss and make up, but they stopped right in their tracks, and I just said, hey, I'm not going to moderate, guys, so let's not do this. And they did. They all said, hey, sorry, it's cool. So I was happy about that. So I'm still not going to moderate. I think we're doing all right.
We're not babysitters.
I think our people are cool. But here's the thing. So you want to talk about this, huh, John?
No, not right.
No, come on. I'm ready.
Well, do you want to have
Hey, you brought it up.
Do you want to have TF on the show?
Yeah. The question is whether or not to have Triple Freak on the show. And you guys know, if you're active in any forum on the planet, you know who Triple Freak is. And I don't know him or anything. He posts a ton in all kinds of forums.
Well, he said he did try to call in last week, but he couldn't get through. So
that's weird.
Yeah.
He could call in this week. I wouldn't mind getting him on the phone. We were talking about having Triple Freak. So. Yeah, okay, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Because I got nothing bad to say about Triple Freak at all. But I'm going to acknowledge the fact, and I'm sure he knows based on posts, a lot of people don't know what to do with Triple Freak because of the amount of posts. And a lot of people find him abrasive in a few of his posts too. Mm-hmm. Because I think he's just very cut and dry. And he'll state it like he knows it and like he means it, and that's enough. And that's okay. I can respect that. There's kind of no BS involved there.
Email can be like that. There's no facial expression. There's no intonation. It's just there.
Right.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are just really rubbed the wrong way. And because of that, I think that we might be opening a can of worms that we don't need to open.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you can call in if you want, Triple Freak. I wouldn't mind talking. I'm interested in what you sound like, actually.
Yeah.
But
he's East Coast, Maryland.
Maybe other people want to know, too. But see, other people could be just like...
How do we know it's even a he?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
it could be. It's got a picture of a dude next to him.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean anything. It's black and white. It's not him. Yeah. Unless he's real old.
Could be her father.
The tin type.
So, Triple Freak was involved in the first fire we had in our forum. But like I said, he was, at the end, he was very gracious to me, and so was, I don't know who I think it was Pokester or something. Doesn't matter. They were both totally cool at the end, and I don't know, it was kind of interesting to get some heat going in there, really.
Yeah. I was getting a little hot, too. I was like, whoo.
It's funny, one of our other listeners, who's in the forum said, I love this guy. I think he's hilarious. Lufa was in there, and he started to post for a second, and then he was like, you know what? I'm not adding to this fire. I'm out of here.
Lufa's cool.
Which was funny. He posted some funny stuff today, too. You should always check Lufa's posts, because they're good.
Yeah.
He posted, somebody told us today in the forum, I hope when you get the new website, you don't have any gay JavaScript on the page to listen anymore. And I just responded, we actually like all things gay because it makes us laugh. We think it's funny. And then Lufa right afterward, like within minutes, was right there posting rainbow flags all over the forum. So that was cool. I love our forum. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's growing quickly.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in there. It's a lot of
200
fun.
plus registered users.
Yeah. What I want to know, John, is did you get any response to the other forum that kicked you off, and then you sent an apology to them?
Well, I haven't tried posted yet again.
But you posted an apology, right?
I did. And there was like 60 views on that post, so.
But no response.
I haven't checked whether or not I can post again, so I need to check that one out. But I did do some research on TF here. Between homebrew.com, morebeer.com, and our forum, he's got over 10,000 posts. He averages 7 a day. On each forum.
Is he in the chat room there?
And he likes to listen to jazz. And I even got his social security number here. Hold on.
Is he in the chat room there with you?
I don't know.
You can't tell?
TF, are you in there?
He'll sign in. I just wonder what else you do, Triple Freak, because that's a lot of posts, man.
He's married.
Does he have a job? Is he
He's
retired?
electrical engineer.
Self-employed?
Self-employed, probably. One of those home guys.
Maybe you can post if you have like a Palm Pilot, right? Like you can go online if you've got one of those connected Palms or a BlackBerry or something like that. So maybe he doesn't have to be at home to post all the time.
No.
It's just a lot of posts, man. Which is cool. I mean, I'm not saying anything. Have you seen our there's a tasting thing on our forum, right? Like Have you tasted
Yeah,
this beer?
that's where he gets all his posts.
There's
Yeah,
like
200 yards.
There's like you know what's funny though is some of the beers that you taste, Triple Freak, in there. Like he tastes like Colt 45. I'm serious. There's a post in there about Colt 45, and he goes, okay, so another malt liquor. It was cheap. But he describes it the same way he describes all other beers, right? He goes through the whole flavor profile, the mouthfeel, everything, and I'm going, dude, it's Colt 45. Who cares? You know?
Who cares is right.
But I still think it's funny. I was happy to see it there because it made me laugh. There's some other things, like Coors Light, you know?
Yeah.
Come on. You might as well taste, Aquafina.
But you gotta give it to the guy. At least
he's
he's going through the effort and trying beers. I think
Absolutely.
he's the only one that does that, actually.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that I don't mind that he posts so much because he's dedicated. If nothing else, the guy's dedicated.
He is dedicated.
You know who I'd like to talk to more than I'd like to talk to Triple Freak? I'd like to talk to his wife.
Yes.
Because I wonder whether her take on though. Like, she's gotta be into beer too, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, she'd kick him out.
Yeah.
You can't spend that much time doing beer and be happily married unless
She's
your
probably
wife's into it
tasting all
too.
those beers, too.
Let's try the Colt 45, honey.
Okay.
Triple, if you're out there, have your wife call in.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I'm not going to be mean. I just really want to ask her questions. I'm curious.
Yeah.
888-401-BEER. Don't be offended. We're just having a good time with you, Triple Freak.
Just because we're bagging on you.
No, we're not bagging.
We'll pick someone else to bag on later in the show. But I'm sticking up for you, too, at the same time.
You're going to bag on me, aren't you?
That's what I usually do.
I'm your go-to.
You are.
Thanks.
Usually go to John. You're just so nice, John. It's easy to do.
I'm just a nice, down-to-earth guy.
Hey, it's the 6th week in
Beer
American Beer Month.
All right.
It's brown ale this week.
We should start a Brewing Network month.
We should. Every month.
How many weeks should it be?
15. Should be a 15 week. Yeah, the American Beer Month
48.
comes to an end this week. It's brown ale, so you should all brew a brown ale, or at least drink one.
Finish with brown.
Yeah, that's right. Interesting. Yes. So there you go. Go to your local go to your local microbrew and buy a brown ale if they got it. Or just go to Bevmo. Is Beverages and More like all over the country?
Ubiquitous,
or is it just a West Coast thing? Anybody know?
I don't know.
If you don't have a Beverages and More, I hope you have something similar. I know I rag on their stale beer all the time, but that store is amazing. You should check it out online,
It's
too.
as big as a grocery store, but it's a liquor store.
It's all liquor, wine, good food, like good cheese and stuff like that, too, that you would eat with liquor.
Lots of wine, big wine selection.
Nice.
They have tastings, wine tastings and beer tastings.
Yeah, and cheap. You can get a lot of good deals on stuff there. Nice work, John. We're going to have the Belch show eventually. You know that, right? That'll be our whole topic of discussion. Like, for example, we could talk about how the best beer burps are from hoppy beers, right? You guys know what I'm talking about.
Are they?
You have a good hoppy beer. Oh, there's nothing like a hop burp.
With or without the foam?
Without.
Sweet Columbus in your sinuses?
Yeah, seriously, it really lingers. Whereas other beers, you can taste your lunch with it, too. With a hop beer, it's just the beer.
You
practice that pairing thing you got going? Food and beer?
And burps. Anyway, check out Beverages and More, because they're a cool store. You can order stuff online from them, too. I think they ship across state lines, even. All right, so there you go. I got some interesting beer news for you guys. Just a couple of things.
Nice.
Groundbreaking beer
It's not
news.
entirely. I'm always trying to support the beer health movement, so I got another small.
You're just looking for an excuse.
Yeah, I always am, and I'm going to keep doing it.
I'm healthy.
This one's just a small article I found today. Basically, this one says that food staples at baseball games can also be lifesavers, the American Chemical Society said. Interestingly enough, every time I go to a baseball game and eat that stuff, I feel terrible.
Yeah.
But studies published in the organization's Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry revealed that some food found at baseball games and other sporting events contains compounds that are good for the body, which is kind of a given. Of course, there's certain compounds in there. The studies found that sunflower seeds lower blood pressure. Although, those ones that are all coated with salt couldn't possibly lower blood pressure, right?
Yeah.
So I guess you'd have to say the saltless sunflower seeds. And I eat like a ton of sunflower seeds at a ball game. I spit them all over the people around me. They don't know, their backs to me.
Oh, yeah.
Stick it in his hair without him knowing about it.
Beer reduces the risk of heart attack, which we've talked about. It doesn't state any of the moderation things that we've talked about. It just says
That's
that.
why you like this article.
And let's see. Sauerkraut fights cancer, and onions prevent osteoporosis. So how about that? There you go. Wait, it says at the end. The study points out that all of those items should be consumed in moderation.
What is moderation?
Like 13 or 14. Onions.
Okay.
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs, right.
dogs.
Man, if I eat a hot dog nowadays, I don't eat much junk food anymore. I grew up on junk food, and it just did a number on me. I literally grew up on it my whole young life. I'm talking 2 meals a day were fast food.
That's why you don't eat it now.
Yeah.
You're tainted.
And I've learned a lot since then, too. I've done a
You'll go
lot of
back.
studies. I don't think so.
No.
The only fast food I eat now is In-N-Out. It's the only place I'll eat, and that's because it shouldn't, in my opinion, it shouldn't even be considered fast food. It's in a class all of its own.
Yeah.
For those of you not familiar with In-N-Out, because they're only on the West, and then like Arizona and Nevada, there are no frozen foods, so they don't ship their beef from across the country.
They're a hamburger place.
It's a hamburger place. There's like 4 items on the menu. That's it.
Yeah.
They don't freeze any of their beef. They use, you actually see them cut the potatoes that go into the fryer, and the fryer's all vegetable oil too.
Yeah, they don't ever freeze the fries.
Don't freeze the fries. You just think it's a fresh potato, so they're not processed, and they don't add chemicals to make them smell the same all the time like the other places do, like McDonald's and Burger King. There's a reason that every McDonald's you go to anywhere in the world smells the same. It's all chemical stuff that they put there to make it smell the same because it attracts your senses. And I'm not saying it doesn't smell good. It smells great. I like the smell too, and I even like the taste.
Fat and salt.
But what?
Better.
But what it does to you is just horrible, and it's addictive, and it's evil, and so anyway, In-N-Out is the only fast food place that's not a franchise. They've been tried to the big guys have tried to buy them out for 50 years. They refuse to sell. It's family owned, and it's the only fast food joint in the entire world that every single year receives the health department's like seal of approval, like golden approval, like that they're clean and that they're serving in quality receptacles and all sorts of things like that. It's the only place of all of them that gets a gold report every single year.
Wow.
So I'm an
We need more
In-N-Out
up
fan.
here.
Other than that, I'm not eating junk. And I think my whole point to this was if I eat a hot dog now, oh man, I'm an unhappy stomach later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just can't eat junk like that anymore. Even the all beef ones. Yeah. I wish I could. I'm not bagging on anybody who eats that stuff. It's good food.
You're just not used to it anymore.
I just can't do it anymore. Yeah. I gotta eat all that sissy organic stuff now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, me and my girlfriend, it makes me sick. We gotta go to the store and go, oh, is it organic? I don't know. Are they free range chickens? We're such hippies, I'm telling you. It makes me sick. But, it's how I am. What am I gonna do? So, alright.
You've grown up, Jeff.
That's my 2 cents. I recommend reading the book Fast Food Nation, and seeing the movie Super Size Me. Although Super Size Me is just a lot more entertainment value. There's some good facts in there, but Fast Food Nation is an incredible book about what fast food companies have done, not only just to the people who consume it, but to industry as a whole, like putting farmers out of business and changing chemical makeups of entire plots of land. And, it's interesting. Good book. Fast Food Nation. There you go. Some interesting reading for those of you who are, politically, I don't know, savvy. Okay, now here's some more fun stuff. A body of a Steelers fan. Did you guys hear about this?
No.
A dead Steelers fan had his viewing. You know, they do the, you know, when you have a wake. We don't have too many wakes in California, but, on the East, everybody has a wake, and it's a viewing, right? And you go and you hang out with the body for 4 hours,
That's
right?
not cool.
This guy,
I've been to one. It's horrible.
James Henry Smith, I'll just read it to you. James Henry Smith was a zealous Pittsburgh Steelers fan in life, and even death could not keep him from his favorite spot, in a recliner in front of a TV showing his beloved team in action. Smith, 55 of Pittsburgh, died of prostate cancer Thursday. I'm sorry for your death, Smith. But because his death was not unexpected, his family was able to plan for an unusual viewing Tuesday night. The Samuel E. Costin Funeral Home erected a small stage in a viewing room and arranged furniture as like it was in his home on game Sundays. Smith's body was placed in a recliner, his feet crossed, and a remote in his hand. He wore black and gold silk pajamas, slippers, and a robe. A pack of cigarettes and a beer were at his side, while a high-def TV played a continuous loop of Steelers highlights. That was the wake.
Wow.
Some of the people who were there as family members, this is his sister, she said, I couldn't stop crying after looking at the Steelers blanket in his lap, said his sister Marianne Nails, 58. He loved football, and nobody did anything until the game went off. It was just like he was at home. That's how the wake was. Longtime friend Mary Jones called the viewing a celebration. She said, I saw it and couldn't even cry. People will see him the way he was. Which is awesome. Like, that's just how he was. Sitting in a recliner with a remote in one hand and a beer in the other, watching football.
It's a good way to go out.
That's how, well, I don't think that's how he died.
No, but I mean.
Although maybe it was, I don't know. I guess it couldn't have been. It's not football season. He could have been watching highlights.
Yeah.
I think that's funny. Like, it's just a good twist on a wake, right? Instead of laying there in a coffin, he's sitting up in his favorite recliner.
Now, what about a brewing perspective on the wake? Let's think about that one.
How would yours be? Like, just in front of your brew sculpture?
Well, I thought about my death, and I think if I'm going to die, I want to fall in a major boil.
Ouch.
Like 500 gallons. Just poof, gone.
What's wrong with
Or be fermented alive and no oxygen.
Didn't you ever see Batman where the guy fell into the vat of stuff?
Yeah, Joker, right?
I don't know if it was
that was acid. Well,
the Schwarzenegger guy, didn't he fall in something
he
too?
He did, yeah. He melted in lava.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's what you want to happen, man?
I'm just thinking about the glory of going out with beer.
It would be a funny story.
Slumped over your car, boy.
Yeah.
While I'd be bummed and everything that if you died, John, I would laugh and tell that story on the air.
Yeah.
Every
show, I hope.
I'd be like, hey, that idiot fell in his boil. How many gallons are you brewing this weekend or next week or something?
50, but 50. I'm just thinking, like, if you're a professional brewer, what way to go out? I mean, imagine falling in your fermenter and you can't, you gotta swim until someone, as you're pitching the yeast.
What's wrong with you?
I know that.
Bury you in the fermenter.
Yeah.
That's funny. Anyway, so that's my story about the Pittsburgh guys.
Where do you get these stories?
He's Justin.
Yeah, I just come up with them. I just find them. You just gotta know where to look. Having done radio for a couple of years, you get to know where to find weird stuff. Cause you need it. You can't do radio without weird stuff. That's the deal.
Yeah.
You can, but it's boring. You know, you just gotta have funny, weird stuff happening.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Matt Peterson.
Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a short break. We're still waiting for, you gotta tell me his name again. I gotta get it right.
Roger Davis.
Write it down. Roger Davis from Drake's is coming in. I'm gonna take a quick break. Is that alright with you guys? Good. Quick break. Matt just came in. He's gonna help us work the chat room, it looks like. Did he know he was gonna do that, or you just said, hey Matt,
hey everybody,
do it? Matt, did you win poker the other day or what?
No. I sort of got my butt kicked.
You did? Just like you did in the trivia game.
Yeah, I took a lot of heat for that one, too.
It was a day of butt kicking for Matt. All right, cool. So he's going to help out in the chat room, so if John was slow, maybe Matt will be a little faster. Although maybe not, I don't know. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll start our water discussion. How about that? It's 888-401-BEER if you have questions, and go to the chat room to ask about water and anything else also.
Yes.
All right, we'll be right back. Woo.
You're listening to a bunch of guys talk about beer. The Brewcasters
on the Brewing Network.
All right, we're back and about to get started with our water discussion. Roger still not showed from Drake's, but that's all right. We canceled on the poor guy and then rescheduled him. I hope he gets here soon because we're running out of good beer. We always count on our guests to come and bring us beer, and otherwise we'd be drinking the same stuff all the time. So hopefully he gets here with some of that cask conditioned brew.
Yeah. I've got a few here, but it's kind of a
do a bit on that later though.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
In the meantime, I'm drinking Corona, which we were just talking about. I like Corona; it's good, but it's just so dang light. You know, you really can. I don't know. I could drink it from here till tomorrow, which I probably would do if there was enough. But I get a headache before I get a buzz too. You know what I mean? It's good beer though. I thought about trying to brew a Corona type of Corona. There's clones out there. You can find recipes to brew a Corona. What's that weird flavor that Corona has that no other
skunky
pills like that has? But it's not just skunky because Heineken's got they've cornered the market on skunk.
Yeah.
Corona's a little different. Anybody know what it is that makes that you know what I'm talking about? It's a very significant, distinguishable taste in a Corona, which is good. It's a smart thing to do.
Don't know.
I have
Don't
no
drink
idea.
enough of it tonight.
I'll tell you this.
But the Heineken, though, is really good on the East Coast.
You mean better than here? Is that what you're
Yes.
saying?
Yeah, it's not been hanging so long.
Drink a lot in Baltimore.
And
really good.
You take the tour at Heineken.
Yeah.
They'll give you as much as you want at the end of the tour, but you have to do it in 15 minutes.
You got to drink it.
Yeah. The tour ends up in their hospitality suite. It looks like a big pub.
Okay.
And they say good news and bad news. Good news is you get all the Heineken you can drink.
Yeah.
Or you want to drink right now. But the bad news is you got 15 minutes to do it. The thing is, as soon as you finish drinking one, you put it down. It doesn't even hit the table, and they got another one in front of you.
Oh.
They are right on that, and it tastes so fresh and so good. My wife slammed about 5 of them.
Wow.
And then
happy.
Well, they're little ones. They're little pours. They're probably about 6-ounce pours.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah,
there were some guys in there trying to get their money's worth too.
Yeah.
Some of these guys are just pounding, and they don't care.
That's awesome.
But the taste is totally different. It's just so fresh.
Yeah.
So there. And it goes down so smooth. There's no skunkiness.
Really?
Yeah. No, there's none.
See, because that, to me, that's the Heineken trademark.
Well, yeah, because they kind of, figure that's going to be.
Right.
You've been trained.
Yeah, okay.
But it's totally different. It's the same beer. It's just gotten light struck.
It's just, okay. It's fresher. I gotcha. Well, I'd be willing to try. I do know it's better out of a keg than it is the bottle. I'll give it that any day.
Oh, yeah. It's the light that hits it and reacts with the hop compounds.
So then that would go to say that the keg can would taste better than the bottle.
You know, that's a theory that I've had too, but I just haven't gotten around to testing it out.
Have you ever had Newcastle Brown Ale in the can?
No.
Awesome.
No.
Delicious. Better than the bottle. And it's a clear bottle.
Yeah. Well, the clear bottle, they speculate that they're using hop essence.
Oh, did they actually add it to the bottling process?
Yeah, instead of using real hops, and then they can cut out some of that light struck problem because it's all about product recognition. That's why they stay with that color bottle. You wouldn't buy Heineken out of a brown bottle or a clear bottle. It would look funny to you.
Yeah. Hey, our chat room has revealed the secret to Corona for us. This is the power of internet radio. We get real responses in real time from people. Crotchrot tells us that their secret is butt and finger. And Double IPA guy says it's quite simply urine. That's what the distinctive flavor is.
Oh, but we just never tasted urine refrigerated before.
Exactly. And that's their secret. Oh, boy. Stuff things over here. Did everybody else? Okay, we're already getting questions about the water.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and start that, and then we can figure it out. I want to start with some basics. I've done just a general outline for us here so that we can know, some of the composition of water. A lot of people, you tend to think water is just water. There's not much to it,
right.
but there are a lot of things to it, and it's basically made up, the things that can be in water are there's 3 main things. There could be biological things in there, like organisms and infections. There can be chemicals in there, like chlorine to clean it, and there can also be physical things in there, just, like basically particles, sediment, anything like that can also be in there.
It sounds like your bathroom.
Yeah, exactly. Most of those things, the sediment and the biological things that can end up in your water, they get cleared out in municipal water. But what you are left with is the chemical agents that are left in there, to clean them out.
Which you don't want.
The mineral content that's in water is very important to the fermentation process because it has a lot to do with yeast. It has a lot to do with the color of your beer. It has a lot to do with haze. So there we're going to be talking about salts and calcium and carbonates and sulfates. All of those minerals, they can affect so many things about your beer. They can affect the pH of your beer. They can affect enzyme activity. They can affect the hop perception of your beer. So if you're looking for a real good hop presence, the mineral content of your water can really adversely affect that or help it out. And they definitely help out the beer clarity or lack thereof. So certain things are going to make your beer more hazy than other things are. There are trace minerals in your water, and here's where you're going to get into things that either help or hinder your beer also. Trace minerals are things such as zinc, iron, sulfur. Iron and sulfur in large quantities are the worst things I think that can be in your beer, aside from, your basic contaminants. But you're not usually going to find those. Iron and sulfur.
Well water mostly.
That's where you're going to find
that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And you can have it tested, and you should have it tested just to see what's in there.
Okay. I think our brew dog is going crazy. We must have a guest or something. Iron and sulfur, though, those are going to be your bad minerals happening. Zinc is actually a yeast inhibitor and can create haze in your beer also. Zinc in high qualities can basically kill your yeast. It can keep it from flocculating. It can, instead of promoting it, which is what your minerals should do.
You have to have zinc in there.
You do, but
we're talking about too much.
Exactly. All of these things would be too much in any water.
Trace amounts is what you need.
Yes, exactly. You always want, and that's why they're called your trace minerals. Iron, the same thing. You also need iron in your beer, but in high amounts you can end up with those metallic flavors that you get. I get that a lot out of Tecate. The first Tecate I ever had, although it was out of an aluminum can, could have had a lot to do with it. But I really felt like I was drinking a glass of metal. It was real bad, and a high iron content in your water can cause that. Calcium, on the other hand, which is always in water too, unless you're using distilled water, which you just shouldn't. Calcium's a yeast nutrient. And it actually is going to help your yeast flocculate, and it will help your beer mature as well. Gypsum is one of the purposes that we add gypsum to mash is not only to lower pH. Well, in the process of lowering pH, it's because it adds calcium to your mash. So when you're adding gypsum,
this is the main reason you add gypsum
to get the calcium up there, because that helps. And there are certain, I'll tell you guys in a little bit, there are certain places across the world that are known for the calcium sulfates in their water. Like in certain parts of England, they're known for their calcium sulfate in the water, and that brings out the hop oils in their beer and makes a perfectly balanced pale ale. You can add Burton salts to increase calcium sulfate. Calcium carbonate is what's the water in London and Dublin are known for, and that water tends to be ideal for ports and stouts, as you might have guessed. So, porter and stouts. So that's your calcium carbonates there. Basically, calcium reacts with the phosphates to lower the pH in your mash and your boil, and like I said, helps with the flocculation and beer maturation. So you don't want to strip your water of calcium in any of your filtration process either, which is why you don't want to use distilled water. And even some reverse osmosis water takes the calciums and some of these trace minerals out too.
Yeah, reverse osmosis is the same as using distilled water.
It is, okay.
It's great to use if you want to use it as either rebuild water or use it to dilute water.
Okay.
If you've got really hard water coming out of wherever you get it out of, one of the best ways to lower everything in there to make it manageable is to dilute it half and half with either distilled or RO water.
Okay.
That's one of the best ways to get everything back in line.
Okay.
I mean, you can't get the iron out of there, but
right.
There are ways to get in there and take out some of the things you don't want in there that are too high.
Okay. Which brings us to the section that I want to talk about. There's your general contents of water. So let's talk about water treatment. And the first and most basic one is municipal water, which is already treated before it gets to you. It comes to your house. And it's generally free from contamination, but it's cleaned with either chlorine or chloramines, which if left sort of unadulterated and in excess in your water can really mess up your beer too. Either one of those chemicals in excess can produce what's called chlorophenols, and that's that medicine-y flavor. Dr. Scott, you were talking just before the show. One of the things we mentioned about Crotch Rot's beer last week is that his beer was excellent, but it had a medicine-y flavor that you had thought, you and Jameel both said, maybe your chlorine cleanser, which he did say he used, you could have left that in there. Well, too much chlorine in your water can do the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about on the way home, that it could be your brewing water.
Right.
There's chlorine in that, and there's too much.
Now, one of the easiest ways to tell is you can really just smell it. If you pour a glass of water and you can smell the chlorine, there's too much chlorine in there to brew with.
Right. You can let it sit overnight, and it'll mostly dissipate.
Right.
Or just carbon block filter it.
Okay.
As you put it in the kettle, use a filter.
Okay, so you just run it right through the filter.
Right.
Okay. One of the other things, I think that'd be a lot easier.
It won't take out the chlorine. It will take out the chloramines to a point.
Okay.
Chloramines are harder to get rid of than just regular chlorine.
Yeah, I read about something called Campden tablets.
Yeah.
So if you need to get rid of chloramines, you can find some Campden tablets to do that.
Just about any place that does wine will have a Campden tablet. It's
okay.
What does it do?
Potassium
gets rid of the
bisulfate.
Of the chloramines. But the two easiest ways to get rid of the chlorine, like Doc said, are to leave it sit overnight, which I didn't know before researching for this discussion, or to add the filter. A more difficult way is you could pre-boil your water before you put it into your mash. That'll get rid of the chlorine.
You can do several things with it that way. By pre-boiling, you can get a lot of the carbonates out of the calcium carbonate will precipitate out as chalk.
Okay.
And then you rack off of that.
Okay.
So if you've got a very hard water with a lot of carbonates in it, you can boil it and it'll precipitate out. You have to put some oxygen in, either stir it or shoot some oxygen in as it's boiling, because it's going to need that for the reaction.
Right.
But a lot of it will come out as chalk around the sides.
Yeah.
And that's one way to get your water softer than it is. Other than other way is diluting.
Okay. I'll tell you this personally. I've been using reverse osmosis water, and I've been using it because I can smell the chlorine in my water. So what I did was I was buying bottled water, and things were working out fine, but it was cheaper. I found that if I save the containers, there's just a thing at the grocery store. It's 35 cents to fill up a gallon of it, but it's reverse osmosis. But I was doing it to save money, but now that I've found that it's stripping it of a lot of nutrients, I think I'm going to switch. I think that if you have to buy water, from what I've found, spring water is probably going to be the best water you can buy, I think, because it's not going to have your chlorine or chloramines, and it's most likely not going to be stripped, but you'd have to read and make sure it's not spring water that was treated with reverse osmosis, which it sometimes is.
A lot of times they just filter it. Sometimes they don't even filter it.
Right, which I think would be the best, right?
There's a couple of websites that you can get the water breakdown on most bottled water.
Okay.
What it is and all the ions and what it is. And if you're going to be treating your water, you really need to know where you're starting from.
Yeah.
If you just... A lot of the municipal places, you can get the yearly report.
Right.
That does fluctuate up and down, but at least they'll give you a good idea of where it's going.
It's a very seasonal thing, those particles are going to be in your water.
And like around here, a lot of the places around the Bay Area, we get snow melt water.
Okay.
And so it's very soft.
Okay.
If you're at a place where they use a lot of groundwater and wells, it's going to be pretty hard.
Yeah.
If you're unlucky like John here, they just stick the pipe in the delta and suck some out of there.
I use a carbon block filter.
Yeah, oh, good.
Yeah.
All right,
it's all
works.
good.
Here's a question. Oz Brewer wants to know how to get a water super soft, like for a Pilsen.
The best way is either just do a total RO and then build it back. You're going to need enough calcium in there for your yeast. You're going to need at least 50 parts per million.
Okay.
And when you're starting with a clean slate, either distilled water or RO water, you can build straight up from that.
Okay.
And you can't add one kind of ion. So you can't add just calcium ion. You're going to either have to add as calcium carbonate or calcium sulfate.
Okay.
Either way. You can dilute what water you have down with that too.
With, like you said before, like by adding distilled water.
So if you, again, you got to know what you got.
Yeah.
And you can dilute it down.
Yeah.
Half and half or whatever. There's a couple of really cool programs out there. ProMash will do it for you.
Okay.
If you don't have that, Ken Schwartz has a freeware program called Brew Water. I've used it for years. It's great.
Okay.
It's on his website, Ken Schwartz, and I'm not sure which one is. Just Google it.
Okay.
And it's called Brew Water. I think it's 3.0 now.
Okay.
It has Target water, your water. I've put my water in there as, Arrowhead I've used, Edmund water, which is our municipal water.
Right.
And you can put in the Target water you want, and it's got this brew wizard, and you click the button, and it tells you all the stuff you gotta add to get to where you want.
Awesome.
Or you can dilute it, and it's free.
Now, if you were just going to dilute it, is it a sliding scale or is it pretty much even? So if, for example, your parts per million are 100 and you want to get it to 50.
Half.
It's half.
Yeah,
so it's
like
not
that.
a sliding scale. That'll do it.
Because it's just parts.
Okay.
Parts
So it will
parts.
cut it to
If
50.
you acidify it or, the other way, it's going to end up changing a little bit.
Okay.
But if you're just using straight water.
Okay. So for a good soft water, either dilute it like that or start with the RO water and then add your minerals.
But you got to know what you have already.
You got to start somewhere. Okay. All right. What's that website or the guy's name again?
Ken Schwartz.
Ken Schwartz. Okay.
It's a good website. He's got some cool stuff on there.
Okay. What's a good carbon filter to use? What do you guys use?
I use a cartridge filter, the kind that, you can change, carbon block. I usually do a pre-filter with, 5 micron, 0.5 micron just to get it clean and then run it through. If you're going to, one thing that I learned, a new carbon filter, don't use that first few gallons because you're going to get little particle floats.
It's all black.
Oh,
All black little things
that
floating in there.
out.
Just run through a few times, a few gallons through till it's coming out clear.
What's the price range on a carbon filter? Like I know you got a pretty small one, but it'll filter a ton of water, right, John?
It's like $10.
$10,
$5 or
really?
$10, yeah. But the whole housing's the whole setup's probably about $35, $40.
And
Okay.
you can change. You can run on one of those
before you have to change the filter.
The 10-inch ones get up to I think 1,000 gallons.
Yeah.
And the 5 inches is get up to 3,000 gallons, which I don't really understand.
Wow.
But I've used it for a year and it's been fine.
Right.
Okay.
And It doesn't hurt to filter it anyway. The filter doesn't strip anything out of it except for the chlorine.
What does the carbon do? I mean, why are you running the water through the carbon? I mean, I don't. It's just
it could get complicated.
Okay.
It pulls out the impurities. The carbon has little edges on the crystals, and it gets absorbed onto those.
So it's stripped, but the chlorines are attracted to that?
Right.
Okay.
So it will get the chlorines out?
Yeah.
What about the chloramines?
I've heard mixed on both of those.
Okay. Okay. And can you find out also through your municipal source whether they're using chlorine or chloramines?
Yeah.
You can just ask them.
Right.
Okay.
And most of your municipal water is going to be alkaline. It's going to be 9 pH or something like that.
Okay.
They need to do that because if it's acidic water, it's going to leach things out of the pipes that they don't want.
Gotcha.
So if you test your water and it's an 8 or a 9, don't freak out. That's just the way they have to do it.
Okay.
To keep it flowing through the pipes and not leaching minerals out of the pipes.
What is a proper pH to brew with?
That's the whole thing we can get into here.
Later.
And for the mash enzymes, when you're mashing, you want to have in the low 5s.
Okay.
5.1 to 5.4 is a good range.
Which is why you're adding your gypsum and things to your mash then.
And there's reasons for the water being what it is. Why you can brew dark beers in one city and light brews in the other, and that's kind of how it all started.
Okay.
I really want to start out with water can get very complicated, and so I don't want to scare anybody with this because you're probably brewing great beers, and knowing about water is just one more tool for you to have.
Make them better.
You don't have to be doing this. You can do a little bit, but just having the knowledge of it is good. There's certain reasons why your beer's not all it could be, and it could be the water. I mean, you're sanitizing, the recipe's right, you're hitting all your numbers, but it's just not hoppy enough, or it's too astringent, and there's certain reasons for that, and it could be your water.
Okay.
But water gets pretty complicated, and it probably should be one of the last things that you do as a brewer. Get down everything else first.
Right.
Get down your system, get down your sanitizing, everything else, and then start playing with the water.
Unless, of course, you're having troubles like crotch rot, where you're not using chlorine to clean, and you're getting those chlorophenol taste.
And just eliminate everything else and make it down to the water. That's it. So there's a lot of reasons to play with the water. One is to get more out of your mash. If you're extract brewer, as long as your water tastes good, you're probably going to be okay.
Okay.
You can change things around a little bit, the mineral content, to get some flavors to come out one way or the other. That'll work pretty well. If you're a masher, one of the reasons we mash is so we can manipulate things to get more on one side, more on the other, what we want to do. The water is a good place to do that because we're tweaking the enzymes.
Right.
We're doing it, not only everybody knows that, a low temperature is going to give you one kind of beer, and a high temperature mash is going to give you the other. But those same enzymes like to have their own pH range too. So you can further tweak it by doing that.
Okay.
Also, if you have hard water and you're trying to brew a light pale ale or a pilsner, it's just not going to work. It's going to be really astringent. The chemistry of the malt won't get your mash pH down far enough.
Okay.
The light malt just won't do it. If you're going to brew a porter, all those grains that are really acidic will pull it down into the range you need to do. So when you check your mash, it's going to be at 5.2, 5.3.
Right.
If you got really soft water and you throw in a bunch of grains that are acidic, roasted barley, your chocolate malt and stuff, you're going to get a 4.8 pH, and it's not going to be what you want.
Right.
So know where your water's starting.
Right. And adjust it from there.
You can adjust it for what kind of beer you're running.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned, and it's a question from the chat room too, that if you're brewing extract and your water's been working fine, you're probably okay without having to adjust it.
Right.
So the question was, do you need to adjust it? Why is it? Is that because all of that mashing has already been done for you?
All the mashing's been done. When you're doing an extract beer, you're not working the enzymes at all.
Okay, they've already been working.
It's done. All you're doing is, transferring the hops in there and getting the hops to work for you. And there's a lot of other things, but more of a taste comes into it.
Yeah.
Some mouthfeel, some things like that. So,
Okay.
What comes into it, if you're going to mess with the water as an extract brewer, first things, know what you do, know where you are with your water that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Then have a target water. You want to brew a London Porter.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Well, know where your water is. Add into it what you need to get to that porter or get to that London water.
Right.
Then brew it, and you will see some differences.
Okay.
And there's different ions that do different things for that.
Okay. But if you're not too worried about it, then I think that a good rule of thumb for extra.
No, you don't have to mess with it.
Is if your water doesn't smell, if it tastes good, and you don't need to do anything about it. You really would only be worrying about the chlorines. If
Right,
you
and clean up your water.
Yeah.
And filtering is great. Filtering really does add to it.
Okay. Now, if I wanted to gas out my water, right, if I had that chlorine smell, if I filled up my carboy then with 5 gallons and I left that sitting overnight, is that a big enough opening, or do I need a big open bucket? How am I going to gas that out?
Put it in your brew kettle.
Put it in the kettle and just leave it sit?
Yeah.
Okay. And it doesn't have to be churned or anything else?
You can shake it. One way is to pour it from one bucket into the other.
Okay.
Bucket to bucket to bucket, and that will get rid of a lot of it.
Okay. Okay. Because I might just try that next time. Because mine's really not, I can smell it a little bit. And rather than use the RO water that I have been using, I might try to just gas out my water next time.
Or use half and half.
Or go, yeah, okay, I could try that too. Do you know what our water make? We're all EB Mud here, aren't we?
No.
We're not?
No, you're Contra Costa Water District, I think.
Oh, snap.
Go to BrewMonkey. BrewMonkey.com. You can check it out.
Okay, yeah. Actually, I was looking at their resource today. That's a good one. It's actually brew-monkey.com. You can check that out. He does have a good water discussion and a good article that I did some research on.
But there's a link too where you can actually send your water off to get tested.
Okay.
Yeah. So check that out if you're interested.
Yeah, if you want to know what it is, and to have that tested, like $15.
Yeah, about that.
Something like that. You send a good sample in. Yeah, let the tap run a little bit.
Right.
Maybe not use the garden hose tap.
Right.
Use a clean tap somewhere in the house and let it run for a while, and then take your sample and send it in.
Okay. What if I can just set up a charcoal filter right from my kitchen faucet, like under the sink there, so that it's coming out of the tap filtered there?
Sure.
Yeah.
Probably just do an inline filter, right? I'm cutting the pipe and putting it right in the middle there.
Or you just
like
get a hose attachment that fits on the sink.
Yeah.
That's what I have.
You do.
Move it around.
Okay. And you just have it in line on your
Right.
hose. Okay. I think that's a good idea. I think it's a pain to go by the water, so it'd be a lot easier to do that.
I'm putting in RO now in the brew house.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll be building water.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You will. So you're just going to add your additives in.
Yep.
Nice. Okay. I want to take a little break. We're still waiting for Roger from Drake's.
He's on his way.
He's on his. Did you hear from him, John?
I'm waiting. Slowly waiting.
Waiting to hear from him.
That's why I went and ran after your dog.
Oh,
I was worried that he'd go around the side in the pit bull.
The pit bull.
I was like, oh, that'd be the worst thing to
licking to
happen.
death.
That'd be bad. All right. 888-401-BEER if you have any questions or if you want to talk to Roger. He should be here soon. We'll be right back and continue our water discussion. You're listening to the Brewing Network.
The Brewing Network. Saving your life. One beer at a time.
All right, we're back to finish up our water discussion. Roger from Drake's just made it in the studio, so we're happy to have him. We'll get him on the microphone in just a couple minutes, and you guys can ask all your Drake's question. I know they brewed a gold medal winning IPA, so we're going to want to talk about that. All right, what we're doing now to finish up our water discussion, we got one of Dr. Scott's beers here, which I'm always happy to have, by the way.
I try to keep it swimming. And
I finished off his Hellas last week. He left us. It was great. We got him nice and drunk by the end of the day.
I know. I'm leaving. I'm going. Why didn't you leave the keg?
It's all. We have to thank Daniela really because she just kept saying, "Man, Dr. Scott, this beer's just so good. It's so good," and she's all cute and everything. So finally, Dr. Scott says, "Okay, I can leave the keg."
She worked it for you, Jay.
Yeah.
Yes, she did.
She did, but she likes it too. Dr. Scott was actually he gave me my choice. He said you can have my pale or you can have my Hellas. And I was like, well, Daniela wants the Hellas. I guess that's what we keep, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so what we're doing here is Dr. Scott actually designed a pale ale, and and treated the water. He built the water himself to specifications, to basically for this kind of a discussion to test,
Right.
what it's going to do. So we're all gonna try this beer, kind of talk about the flavor profile, and then Dr. Scott can help you, figure out what he did to the water to make it that way.
The experiment with this one was to brew a pale. Pretty simple recipe. 2-row and some crystal. I cut back on the hops quite a bit with the bittering hops. I tried to keep it around a 30 IBU. But I wanted to push the hop presence a lot more. So I built the water up with a lot more sulfates. I targeted the water. Randy Mosher has what he calls his ideal pale profile.
Okay.
And so I added salts back to was actually really soft water. I kept the sulfates very high with the sodium and the chloride pretty low because you don't want to have either of those. If you have a high sodium, you want to have a low sulfate.
Okay.
Because otherwise, if you got the high sulfate, it's good for crispness of having that hops, and the bitterness. But if you add a lot of sodium into it, it's going to get harsh and kind of biting and nasty.
Okay.
So that's what I wanted to do. So with this beer, it's about a 30 IBU.
It's good too,
And
by the way.
yeah. And what do you think of the bitterness?
It's light. It's real smooth.
It's smooth, but it's there.
Not too bitter.
Your aroma's there though too.
So it's got a lot of exactly what I wanted it to do.
This is the same pale from last week too?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one you could have had that keg.
No, I should have. Matt wants to know the alcohol by volume.
This one's probably 6.5, probably. I usually brew about a little higher, original gravity.
6.5.
And this one,
6.5 is pretty good for a pale, though, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I mind.
When you're only having
7.5
one beer,
or
it's the
anything.
one beer to have. So I think the experiment came out just what I wanted.
Okay.
I didn't want to just throw in tons of hops and get a lot of bitterness and not have it what I wanted.
And I mentioned that earlier. Calcium sulfates in parts of England help their pale ale by getting out the hop oils in the wort and giving you a smoother hop flavor. And that's why they're known for their great pale ales.
Right, but that's natural water, too.
Right.
It's hard to build what their natural water is.
Right.
Unless you're bubbling it through all their dirt over there.
Now, that really soft water that you started with, not exactly RO water, but if you were to start with extremely soft water, now you're talking about your lagers, a good Pilsner, you want that super soft water.
Right.
And then you want a moderate water for the pale, so you want some more of those calcium sulfates in there.
It's what you need for where. We're talking two different things here. We're talking for water chemistry to either have it, for one section is the pH.
Yeah.
That's to get your conversions and where you want for what style and what water you have. That's one category here. And the other chapter is all the other brewing salts that you put in there to accentuate the flavor. Kind of think of it as seasonings in the water. Why do you put salt on food? You taste salt on your tongue. You just put salt on your tongue. It tastes kind of crappy, but put it on some food and it really brings out everything else in there.
I thought you were going to say it's because your wife can't cook.
No.
That's not why you put salt on food.
I don't
put much salt on food.
I don't either. I figure my food's got enough salt.
Can your wife cook?
Yes, she can.
Oh, cool.
Okay, I take it back. No, I get the point. You're going to add things because you want to help it out. Well, let me ask you this, Doc, though. Generally, are you using different water every time you brew, or are you using the same water for each beer? Aside from this experiment that you did.
Generally depends.
Okay. So there's no...
I usually try to start with something soft. I'm on well water and I really don't trust it.
Okay.
So actually I'm putting an RO system in right now.
Okay.
And so I have been going over to my office and using that water, which is municipal water, and using a double carbon filter on that.
Okay.
And then bringing it back and brewing with that. And that is pretty soft water. It's all snow melt from the Sierras, and I actually have to add stuff anyway into it because the calcium level is so low.
Okay.
To start out, it's almost minuscule.
All right. And what about, now John, you're brewing some awesome beers. You're using the same water for every style you brew though, right?
Yeah, but I don't go into detail like Dr. Scott does.
Well, that's what I mean.
I
You're
just filter
doing
carbon block and I add 5-2 stabilizer to my mash.
Okay.
And that is it.
All right. What about you guys, Roger, while we got you here at Drake's? Are you guys using the same water for each style of beer you do? Are you treating your water? What's going on over there?
We have it carbon filtered. and it's heated the night or the morning before brewing, and typically we don't add anything.
Okay.
And we're getting a mash pH of anywhere between 5.3 and 5.5.
Okay.
Which is our goal.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
So pretty much you're doing the same thing for any style of beer that you brew there. Okay.
Are you boiling your water or?
We get it up to about 210.
Okay.
Actually 205.
Okay.
All right.
We're direct fired. We're not steam, so.
Okay.
What's your volume you boil?
15 barrels.
50 barrels, okay. Cool.
Yum.
Yeah.
15 barrels.
Swimming in that.
I'll keep you stocked for a while.
Is that enough for you to fall in and die, John, like you want?
Yes. I could
But
do
I
well
imagine
there.
you guys start out with pretty soft water to begin with.
Relatively.
Yeah.
You're in San Leandro, right?
We are in San Leandro, so we're pulling up like 3 different reservoirs here around the Bay Area.
Okay. You're not getting it from the Oakland River, then?
No.
I hope.
I certainly hope not. They haven't told me.
It might taste like tires, then.
Yeah.
Tires and bodies. That is. That's good.
But we have a starting pH of about 7.7.
Okay.
Of our
A
kettle
little
water.
bit alkaline, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Doc was saying that you might on average find it at about 9.
8 to
Like
9,
8
depending
to
on where you are, the municipal water.
Well, the carbon filter's stripping a lot of it out, too.
Okay.
We put slaked lime in it to get it there.
Okay.
Kind of settle some crappy stuff out.
Okay. All right. So without confusing anybody any further, why don't we call it quits and just see if there's any more questions coming from the chat room? Unless
Okay.
you got a specific thing you wanted to mention about this too, Doc.
I don't know. We could talk on this a lot more.
Yeah, that's what I
We should do
figured.
another water talk. Like
we
next
should do
month.
another water talk, but I'd like to center it around what you guys want to know.
Well, there's a lot of in your process. The water affects everything. I mean,
yeah,
we can get into
you could
mash,
you could
fermentation, boil.
cut out a section of this one and talk about it for a while. But main thing is relax. It's if you're doing okay beer, fine. If there's
Don't
something
worry
else
about
wrong,
Yeah. I'm relaxed.
yeah.
I got a question here from the chat room. I think I'm getting it right. It's about Claudia, who's actually in studio with us also, though. Is that right, Matt? Am I reading this right? Is Claudia from 21st Amendment? Is that the question? Are you from 21st Amendment, Claudia?
Yes, I am.
Here, can you grab this? Would you mind us putting you on the spot here for a second?
You can, yeah.
Up here, I don't know. You're a superstar, I
Wow,
guess. I got to
you're
put you on
everywhere.
the microphone. Claudia came in with Roger. She didn't, by the look on her face, didn't know she was going to be on the radio. But guess what?
Clue.
Do you work at 21st Amendment?
I do work at 21st Amendment.
Okay.
I've been a bartender there for several years.
Okay. How do you like that? I
love
won't
it.
tell him what you said.
It's great. I've actually been there since they opened, so
Oh, okay.
I'm a lifer, I think.
Oh, that's not bad. I'm a bartender too, but I hate it. But it's probably because of where I'm working. If I were at 21st Amendment, I might like it a little better. You guys looking for a bartender?
Nope. None of us ever leave.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I figure while I had you on the spot, I might as well push you further to the edge.
Get
of
a
the
job,
cliff,
Jay.
right? I'm always trying to keep my options open, right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess someone in the chat room, I don't know how they knew you were going to be here, but you got some fans, and they're saying hi, I guess. So
Hi.
they didn't say who it was, but there you go. She said hi back. Matt, unless you want to divulge who was...
We met Claudia at the Bistro Belgian Fest.
Oh.
Bistro Belgian Fest.
Sandal is double IPA guy.
Okay.
Double IP.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean, Roger.
Well, Roger.
I thought you were the double IPA guy.
Okay.
Well,
Says Claudia was having trouble standing when he met her.
Oh!
Well, it was a Belgian fest.
If you couldn't hear that on the mic, she was having trouble standing at the Belgian fest. You got to get you a microphone.
that's funny.
Well, if the show goes well, you might have trouble standing here too, Claudia.
You got a whole
so don't
cooler of
worry
beer
about
to go,
it.
so.
All right, thank you. Sorry to
Wow.
put you on the spot, Claudia, but
That's awesome.
the fans are asking
Nothing
for
better
you.
than spontaneity.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and move on to Drake, since we got Roger here, and get some good information out of him, put him on the spot instead. If you have any further questions about water, feel free to ask in the chat room or call 888-401-BEER.
Yeah, help us formulate the next water talk. And talk about what you guys need to know.
There you go. The only water I want to talk about sitting in this hot room right now is a swimming pool. It's like,
You don't have one.
I don't.
Got a bathtub.
I got a tub, and I got a little like dirt hole in the backyard. We could put some water in. Try that. All right, Roger. How long you been brewing for Drake's?
I've been at Drake's for 3 years now. A little over 3 years.
Okay. And are you the sole brewer, or are there other brewers?
No, there's
there also?
Melissa that works with me too.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Oh, awesome. A female brewmaster?
Yeah.
That's, I don't mean to sound all like
rare.
surprised about that,
great.
but that's
It is.
I think that's
relatively
awesome.
rare.
That's cool.
But yeah,
How long has she been brewing there?
she's been with us about I would say 10 months now.
Nice.
Okay.
But
Just
she's been a
assist
brewer
you?
for about 9 years, you know, through
brewer.
all over the U.S.
Okay, great. All right.
Excuse me.
How did we get a hold of you anyway? Did John just track you down and nag you until you came
Yeah,
on the
pretty
show?
much.
I just left him a voicemail.
Hey, good work, John.
I did. I'm persistent, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right, that's cool. And before Drake's, where else were you brewing?
Before that, I was at Pyramid for about 2.5 years, and then before that, San Francisco Brewing Company.
Okay.
For about a year.
And were you a home brewer before you were pro brewing?
Yeah.
You were?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, every professional brewer is pretty much started in the home brewing.
I figured.
For sure.
Do you still home brew?
No, you know, once you do work for 5 days, you don't
Right.
really want to go home on the weekend.
It's
and
like the
do it
mailman
again.
taking a walk on his day off.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Exactly.
That's a good point.
Although I'm a bartender and I pour beer on my days off.
Yeah, well, that's
You get to drink.
You've never poured me a beer.
That's true. I'll pour Claudia one. She's a bartender too. I don't want to make her work while she's out here. All right. What I want to know, I want to know a little about this IPA that you guys won with. I think it was before you were brewing there that you won.
No, it was right when
when you
I've
started?
been there about 6 months.
Oh, okay.
So.
Awesome. So tell us about that. You guys won which competition that you got to go to?
The GABF, we got a gold in 2002, which was, you know, surprised me.
Oh, okay.
You know?
That's awesome.
So there's like 95 entries in that category,
Right.
Wow.
typically
Okay.
every year, and just to be the best is,
That's awesome.
yeah, it's, you know, it's one of those things. You don't expect it, but when it does happen, you're like,
Right.
well, I knew I made a good beer, but
Yeah.
didn't
liked
realize
it.
it was going to be the best.
Now, aside for some bragging rights, did that do anything for you guys at Drake's? Did it get you some good, you know?
Yeah, I got us a, you know, a marketing, you know, scheme and whatnot, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just it's basically an ego thing.
Okay.
Nothing
Nothing wrong. Yeah, it's
good beer. I mean,
that's all fine.
But we could try some. It's
All right.
over there.
This is Growler's
Let's do it. I'm
IPA
empty.
here.
Let's make the bartender.
Yeah, it
do
says IPA. It says IPA
Claudia,
on the
please.
top.
No.
Oh, John. That's funny. Oh, nice. Got a big growler of it. That's cool.
There's your big growler.
We were running out of beer, too. You came just in time.
No, we were running out
Can
of
we
beer.
keep your cooler for a
Oh,
week?
I'm holding back.
Oh, damn you. Holding back on us. How many styles of beer are you guys brewing over there now at Drake's?
We have 4 staples that we do year round that we bottle as well.
Okay.
The Hef, the Amber, the Blonde, and the IPA.
And this IPA, okay. And how far are you guys distributing it? Can you only get it in California?
Pretty much only California, pretty much only the Bay Area.
Oh, okay.
We do have a distributor that takes it down to California, or Southern California.
Okay.
But, I mean, the market down there is not really ours.
Okay.
Why don't you give him a little phone with that?
Okay. Yeah, I think it's tough when you're a small brewery to to really expand past your market, especially with so many other breweries everywhere.
Well, there's no real need to like branch out that far right now because it's a quality thing.
Right.
And, you know, we can't really supply the market as it is. So
Right. How many?
Why branch out that much?
Oh, is that right? So you guys have more demand than your supply right now? Is that what you're kind of saying? Right about?
Well, we're getting close to that.
Good ratio there. Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's comfortable. I'll
Okay.
just say that.
Okay, that's awesome. That's
the
a
more
good deal.
the more that we sell, the more I have to work, and I
Gotcha.
don't like that.
Keep it easy.
Yeah, baby steps.
Right.
How much leeway do they give you in brewing?
They pretty much leave the whole brewery up to me and Melissa.
They give you a recipe and just say, "Hey, make me some of this."
No, they actually the owners don't even know anything about brewing. Basically,
Really?
if Melissa got hurt tomorrow and all of a sudden I was on like 2 weeks vacation, they wouldn't know what to do.
Wow.
Okay.
So there's only 2 of us that really know how that brewery works.
Kind of like
and-
the secret recipe to Coke.
Yeah.
Only 2 people know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's smart, is what that is. You got a little market share yourself.
Well, it
there.
makes it more
Job
fun.
Security.
when-
Job security. It's a
Yeah, but
beautiful
it makes
thing.
it more fun when you guys can do what you need to do rather
Yeah.
than answering to the suits.
Yeah, exactly.
And I
Well,
can see it now. They sort of come into the brew room. They're like, "Hey, Roger, could you show us a little bit about this?" No.
No. I could, but then I'd have to kill you.
Yeah. I'm not even going to bother.
No. Why don't you go sign a paycheck or something?
Well,
Well,
that was a rhetorical question. Not eliciting an answer.
so when they started it, they just wanted an investment in a brewery then? Or what could you tell us about that?
Pretty much. I mean, this brewery has been around for 15 years. It started out as the Lynn Brewing Company, and then they ended up buying it about 5 years ago
Okay.
from Roger Lynn because he just basically wanted out of the brewing world, and he's apparently teaching in Danville now.
Oh. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Yeah, I'm not.
What is he teaching?
Kind of on the fence about that myself.
Yeah.
I think he's teaching third graders or fourth graders.
Oh, interesting.
Sweet.
Yeah. And this is how you make beer.
Today's future.
Let's do a little chemistry, kids.
Yes.
That's great.
So they bought it from him, and then and just started hiring other brewers. They hired Bert from 20 Tank.
Okay.
When 20 Tank went under.
Okay.
And he came over, and he was there for about 2 years, and then I took over after him.
Okay.
So
now, how did that happen for you? Did you have to, keep bringing him beer and saying, "Listen, I'm good, let me do it," or do you have a name in the industry? What's the word there?
Well, they had an ad out looking because Bert was leaving.
Okay.
And I was at Pyramid, and it was pretty much done of making hef all the time.
Right.
And wanted to kind of branch out.
Pseudo hef.
Boy, Roger clammed up about that one.
That's ironic.
All of our glasses in here are stolen from Pyramid.
They're
No, mine's not. I'm not drinking on it. You stole yours from the Oakland A's.
Oakland A's, right. Well, needless to say, I think every piece of glassware in the house is stolen from somewhere. We're on a tight budget. What do you
Nothing
want?
matches. And nothing's clean.
But they're full 16-ounce pints.
They are.
That's what's important.
That's impressive.
The place where I work, those cheap somethings.
People.
They serve in the old 14-ounce glasses or 12.
Oh, wow.
Where it looks like a pint glass, you wouldn't know it.
That's the big bottom.
But the bottom, exactly. Yeah. And no one notices. Unless you're a beer guy, all those, it's at a golf course, so all those golfers, they don't even notice. And
No, they just want another
$6
one.
for a Corona.
Yeah.
Another one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel bad every time. I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay. They tipping you, though, so what do you care?
Yeah. Sometimes. Occasionally.
Preaching to the choir.
It's good IPA for you folks at home. It's we're trying it right now.
Tasty.
Mm-hmm. It's got a nice bite to it.
Yes.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's about 65, 70 BUs.
Okay.
Wow.
That's a lot.
And what's the alcohol content in this too?
About 6, 8, 7.
Okay.
Original.
Just where it should be.
Original gravity?
It starts about 16.8, 17 Plato.
Okay.
All right.
And drops down to about 3.5, 3.8.
Okay.
Depends on what mood it's in. What batch that mood is in,
Yeah.
And we use about, I'd say 4% caramel malt.
Okay.
And about 4% C45 to get that color.
What's C45? You got
Crystal 45.
Crystal, right.
Crystal 40. Gotcha. Okay.
What's your base malt?
I'm the slow guy. Sorry.
The base malt that we use on all our beers is crisp.
Okay.
We have our silo filled. It's a little bit more expensive, but
That's Marisota, right?
they do make a Maris Otter. We use just their regular 2-row.
Okay.
All right. And how many different hops are you using in this guy here?
3.
Three.
There's Horizon to bitter it.
Okay.
And then Cascade through the boil and Columbus and
I thought
Cascade in the dry.
I tasted Columbus in there.
Yeah.
Which is also known as Tomahawk and Zeus.
Okay. All right. For those of you out there.
Or dank.
Dang.
Sweet.
Call it what you want.
I just brew it. Is this your most popular beer at Drake's, your IPA?
This is about, I'd say 60% of our production.
It is.
Wow.
Okay. All right.
On the Drake's label. We make all the beer for Jupiter as well.
You do?
I was just there last night.
Yeah, if you
Jupiter,
go,
we got a great porter.
For those of you outside of Northern California, is an awesome little place in Berkeley. They used to have a place in Walnut Creek, but the yuppies there couldn't handle it, so it went under. But yeah, it's down in Berkeley. It's a cool little, it's a pub, but kind of hippied out.
Live music, too.
You get a little live jazz, but they have a ton of good beer on tap.
Oh, they got a lot of taps.
Yeah.
So all of their Jupiter brand is you guys then,
yeah,
huh?
if you go in and
That's
you have
awesome.
one of their house-made beers.
Yeah.
It's made in San
I
Diego.
was wondering about that last night as I'm
Interesting.
choosing my house beer.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Well, I had your porter there, and that was awesome. That was my favorite. That was great.
Yeah, the porter's good. I like the porter. But those are totally separate recipes, too, than the Drake's labels.
Okay.
Basically, those are the recipes that came from the Walnut Creek place. We tweak them as necessary, but basically they're set in stone.
Okay.
As the Drake's ones are set in stone.
Okay, and you just brew it from. Okay.
One of our, somebody in the chat room wants to know how you get to that great aroma. Or is this you, Matt?
He's in the chat room.
He is the chat room.
That's awesome. He just writes me a note just like all the other ones and it says, Matt wants to know. Matt, you're great.
Yeah.
How do you get that great hop aroma out of your IPA?
Lots of hops.
Yeah? You just dumping it in there? Let me smell.
Into the boil, or?
We do a
Whirlpool?
lot of Whirlpool hop with this, and a lot of dry hopping.
Okay. And how long are you dry hopping it for? We had a little discussion about this a couple weeks
Typically,
ago.
all our beers are on a 2-week cycle.
2 weeks,
Meaning,
okay.
brew day is 1 day, 13 days later it should be filtered and put in a package.
Now, are you using different types of hops or just one
the
hop per drop?
No, the IPA gets the Cascade and the Columbus.
Okay.
In the dry hop. And we typically will dry hop about a Plato above AE, meaning it's going to drop to 3.5. We'll put it in at like probably 4 or 5.
Okay.
And then cap it. Capping it means like closing the fermenter up and then just letting the carbonation start to carbonate the beer.
Okay.
So you're gonna let it,
And then 4 days later we'll bring it down to 33 degrees. And then about a week and a half later it's filter and
ready to go.
Right. You don't want to cap it because you don't want the CO2 to scrub it all out of there.
Exactly.
You're kind of defeating the whole purpose of dry hopping.
Exactly.
So I got a question, and I would have this for all of our microbreweries who come in here, because as home brewers we talk a lot about aging certain kinds of beers and how it gets better with age. But you guys don't really have the luxury of letting beer sit around to age, do you? Or are you doing that with some of your beer?
We do that with some of the beers. We make ales and lagers. Our ales are typically on a 2-week cycle.
Yeah.
The lagers, we like to lager them as long as possible.
Okay. But you don't have anything sitting around for 4 months before you're putting it out on the market?
We do. We have an Imperial Stout. We had our anniversary that I brought. It was a lager, and we lagered that for about 10 months.
Okay. But something like your IPA doesn't need any longer than a 2-week, and then it's just ready to go. It's not going to get any better after that.
In my opinion, no.
Okay.
All right, we need to go and move on to the next beer.
Yeah.
Dr. Scott.
Would you like me to get that for you, Dr. Scott?
It's go time.
All right, while Doc and everyone's getting ready to move to the next beer, I just want to mention Oz Brewer, one of our Aussie Australians listening out there, who used to, and we still haven't gotten the archives up for the poor guy.
I know.
He used to ask us all the time, when are the archives coming, because I got to work on Mondays. It's Monday in Australia when we do our show, Monday morning, and he never gets to listen. Well, Oz Brewer now takes Mondays off to listen to the show.
We have done well. We have succeeded.
So we've changed one person's life.
Exactly. So on one hand, Oz, I apologize that you had to do that we didn't get the archives going. I'll give you an update about that later. I'm going to go off on it for a little while. On the other hand, I'm really happy inside, and I'm proud that you take off work to listen to our show.
Right, well, and, Justin said he maybe wants to have another show on Wednesdays.
Yeah, but I don't want you to get divorced, Doc.
Well, no, I took off Wednesdays for you.
You did?
Yes, I did.
Did you really?
I can do it at noon if you want.
Oh, man.
Dr. Scott, you were my hero.
Hey, what's
changing lives one day at a time.
The Brewing
Network.
That's the next idea.
Wow, we're putting people out of work, is what we're doing. Like we're actually.
I resigned on Monday.
Awesome, good work, John.
All right,
that was a mistake.
Yes. Oh yeah, you can't pay me yet.
That's great. People are actually changing their household budget around us. Okay, honey, we're going to have to cut down on peanut butter sandwiches for the kids.
PG&E.
I need to take Mondays off. That's cool.
You don't understand. It's important.
Crotch Rot, our other loyal listener, now takes Sundays off. He's in Florida. And he takes Sundays off to listen to the show.
Awesome.
You guys are a bunch of bums. Is what it really comes down
success.
to.
Hey, Crotch, my brother's in Florida right now, and I'm getting an hourly report on the rain and the humidity and. You know.
I love it. Hey, everybody take off work. We should have National Home Brewing Network Day, right? Where everyone just takes off work.
Wednesday.
But that's going to include us, so there's not going to be a broadcast or anything. I just want you all to take off work. That'd be a good idea.
We got to give them a good reason for it.
What are you guys drinking now?
Yeah, what are we drinking?
Because I'm still drinking IPA.
What is this here?
This is actually our batch 1500 from day one of Roger Lynn opening the place. Whoa. So we decided to do something a little crazy, and basically we just made a pale ale, but then we added enough hops to make it an imperial IPA.
Okay.
At the end, so you didn't get the bitterness, you didn't get anything like that. So what you got was like an extremely large aroma,
right?
And yet it's easy drinking at like 5.2%.
Wow. That's a good idea.
We talked about that last week too.
Yes, we did, and Jameel was saying how he's sitting in where they're all drinking session beers in England at 2.8, 3.0 alcohol, and he's having 2 5.0 beers. and they're looking at him like he's like an Elkie. He had two.
Right. Yeah, he thought he had water. Okay, about to try another one here.
We got a drink here, hold on.
What do you filter down to when you filter?
We bring it down to 0.5 micron.
Okay.
So it's almost sterile.
Yeah, it's almost sterile, yeah.
Yeah. With the...
do you cold crash it to get most of the stuff to the bottom before you do that? Because it'll gum it up pretty quick at 0.5. Okay.
Like I said, most of our beers are on like I would say like 6-day ferment, and then on a 2-week cycle, the rest of that is at 33.
I'm a big advocate of filtering. Some people say it strips out stuff. I don't see that.
If it's going to strip it out, put it in before.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Put more in. Yeah, that's where you can tweak it up.
Yeah. Tweak your recipe, you're set.
It makes your beers come out faster.
Yeah.
It gets that yeast bite to leave faster, and it lets your beer mellow.
I totally agree with you. I mean, I filter for appearance.
Everybody goes, wow, look at that beer. And you know, to them, as soon as they see that clear beer, it's a better beer.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
It's all psychological.
Aesthetics are everything.
There's nothing wrong with a cloudy beer, but, you know, you know, you get 10 brewers in one room, you ask them one question, you're going to get 15 different answers.
Right. Yeah. So if you're doing contests and you have a clear beer and they have a cloudy beer, just in their head, they're going to give you better points. And they can only give you 3 points on appearance. Mm-hmm. But you know what? That 3 points is fine. You get the 3 points, but everything else is going to be pulled up.
Yeah, but I mean, the main reason we'd like to do it at Drake's is because, you know, it is bringing that person in that is drinking the Budweiser, drinking the...
And they expect it.
Yeah, and they want it to be clear, like, you know, Budweiser.
They don't understand.
Sterile filtered.
Right, they don't understand that it's a natural product and there's little dudes in there.
Yeah.
But they want to have what's the other stuff floating in my beer?
Don't tell me that there's little dudes in there. It freaks me
out. Maybe we can use a different name.
It makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't want to brew anymore.
Next thing you're going to be worried about dust mites. Yeah.
You guys remember at the beginning of the show when I was talking about that hop burp that y'all looked at me blankly about? You know, when you burp and it tastes like hops?
This beer will
his
give it to
IPA
you.
will give it. You see, you know what I'm talking about, Roger. It's when you,
and it burns the
there
top
are
of your
certain
nose.
beer burps that they're no fun, they're no good, they're not happy. But a good hoppy beer, man, I welcome it. You welcome that burp.
Yes.
It tastes good. You guys looked at me like I was retarded.
I wasn't looking.
No, it was more of a disgusted look.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying.
There's things you just don't share.
I just had one.
How'd that feel?
Like that.
Actually, there are not many things that I don't share. There are things that most people don't share.
Yeah, but you share everything.
It's my job to share
I'm proud
them.
of you, by the way.
That's what I do.
Okay.
He's a giver.
Couple of things. The correction for Crotch Rot was that he actually used to work on Mondays, but he smelled too much like beer after drinking the whole time through the show on Sundays. So now he takes Mondays off.
He said that in his forum post. He was too blitz.
Yeah. We got a question. Is there a way that home brewers can simulate whirlpooling? And I've seen John do this, I think.
Yeah.
So
spoon and whirlpool.
Yeah, go to a restaurant supply and get the 24-inch long stainless steel spoon and stir a lot. Or you can also have
a protective glove too.
Because the steam's coming up.
It's
212. You got to keep it spinning, or just have them weld in the thing into your brew kettle. And
see, that's
use
the best
pump.
thing. It's what's it called?
A diverter plate.
Thank you, John.
Well,
you just weld that little diverter plate in the bottom of your kettle, and then if you whirlpool, all your sediment's going to sit in the middle, and where your spout is on the other side, the diverter plate's going to keep the sediment from it.
I actually have a whirlpool too.
You do?
Yeah, I pump and it whirlpools.
Yeah.
Really?
Well,
of course you do.
Good.
It's a gadget.
Yeah.
You have to have it.
I want you to do
If possible, I have to.
We should do a show with Dr. Scott do a partial boil brew.
We should do a video of all Dr. Scott's gadgets is what we have to do. Check this out. I just remembered this as we're talking about it.
I want to challenge him, though.
In a dream I had last night, your supercharged wort chiller was in it. I was at a... I don't know.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I was at a brewery, and I was walking through
big,
this
it's
stuff.
shiny, it's cool.
And I remember it vaguely, but I remember it was sitting against the wall with a bunch of stuff connected to it, and there it was. It was your supercharged wort chiller.
Basically, I've ganged up in series 2 counterflow chillers.
Yeah.
And
that's overkill.
Yeah, but you know. And
dork.
The next thing I want to do is actually run it in line with my whirlpool
and attach a lawnmower to it.
Yeah, that'll be his mash stir. Okay, never mind.
This is I got to do this. Has anybody ever tried cock cheese lambic?
That's not a real beer.
I've heard of lambic.
Is this Mad Libs?
It's Oz Brewer wanted me to talk about cock cheese lambic.
So you
wanted to hear you say that.
We're talking about what do you stir that thing to get the whirlpool going?
And I want to know about cock cheese lambic.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you want? I was asked. I have to ask it.
Well, you know they add oxidized hops, which has a cheesy aroma. So
you go right to the cheese.
So there's no reason not to call it that, other than it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Well, where's the cock come from?
I don't know.
What's what you're stirring to make a whirlpool?
I got the
My
cheese
bad.
part. Okay.
It's like they say, hey, this kettle's cold.
Yes.
And deep.
Okay.
And hard.
We love beer.
All right. Bunch of kids.
This conversation's going downhill.
Too many beers.
Yeah.
Back to the beer.
Yeah, you want us to promote Drake's right about now? Or you want us to wait till later?
No, let's go with Pyramid.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, wow.
Do you guys have a brew pub attached to your brewery there? Or it's just a brewery?
Just a brewery. We're just a micro.
Okay. And about how many, if you could estimate, how many pubs are serving your beer on tap around here?
Around here or
well,
in the Bay?
In the Bay in general.
I
At
would
your
say-
whole distribution
Here in
area.
Pacheco.
Yeah.
Zero.
Maybe your house.
No, we're probably looking at about 100 different accounts with the keg product, and then we have distributors for the bottles, so God knows how many.
Okay.
Do you have keg distributors or?
We did for a while, but distributors have so many, beers in their portfolio that, when you do sign on, they're just like your back page.
Okay.
So we finally did take that back over in the East Bay here, so if anyone wants to buy a keg, call us.
I used to order from Bayer Distributing, and now I don't carry it, and so now I need to call you.
Now you call us.
Yeah. Okay.
I
like that better.
Yeah.
That's
and we'll get it to you as soon as we can.
Can I get
which
4
is usually
5-gallon IPA kegs next week?
You're gonna have to call
Just
me.
say yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Yes, you can.
Of course you can.
Yes. Yes. Can do.
Okay.
How many other breweries are in the San Leandro area? It's just you guys, isn't it?
There's that's in Berkeley.
Berkeley.
That's
Okay.
close. Well, what's the area?
What's San Leandro? Just San
Fremont
Leandro.
has one. Hayward has one.
Okay.
Buffalo Bills and Jacks.
That's making a lot of
Fremont.
sense to those East Coast guys.
Yeah. Well, you know what's interesting?
It's East Bay, East Coast. Come on.
We're east in it.
Daniela and I were talking, because Daniela's from Germany, we were talking about, how in Germany, pretty much almost every town has their own brewery. It's a local brewery. And they don't really distribute outside of that town. They distribute there in that town. But most of America doesn't experience anything like that. Most of America has your major breweries, and they're lucky if they have a microbrew around. But here in Northern California and all the way up to Portland and Washington, we have it's very similar to a German market where you can go to almost any town and find a local microbrewery. The difference is that they'll distribute it all over. They have to in order to stay in business.
Yeah. Right.
Whereas in Germany they don't necessarily have to stay in business.
And when I moved to Northern California, from Southern California, my goal was to try every brew pub that I could find.
Right. In how many days?
2.
Right.
It's a lot of work.
I was looking more quality than quantity, but yeah, I got a book that listed them all and on the internet, and
I'm in. Let's go.
I hit a lot of them.
You did? I think it's a great thing. I talk about it a lot. We do have a luxury of that. Although the East Coast is catching up in a a lot of areas where they're getting a ton of brew pubs too. I think that you could probably
Maryland alone
Maryland's got a bunch of them. New York is getting a few of them. I had a beer it was called Brooklyn Brewery, beer right out of Brooklyn. It was a really good beer.
What style was it?
A couple bad beers too. It was an IPA, but it wasn't anything like we do IPAs.
It was an East Coast IPA.
Yeah, which is much more
English.
More English,
More
exactly.
English, yeah.
Less hop, more malt.
More malt.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens when you're closer to the West Coast. You have the hops that are
exactly. We're
that are
producing
closer
them.
to you.
Might as well use them. Mm-hmm. That's what I say anyway.
They have to pay for shipping all the way out there.
Yeah, and it comes down to what sells too, and what's naturally in the area.
Yeah.
Midwest traditionally has been a lot of German brewers all through the Midwest, so you get a lot of lagers and light things like that. And the East Coast is closer to England.
Yeah,
and West Coast, hey,
It's all about the West Coast.
Yeah, IPAs.
Although we're not alienating any of our East Coast listeners.
Did I say that out loud? No, I'm sorry.
Send us beer.
No, but we'd like to sample their beer.
We should get Dogfish Brewery in.
Somebody in the forum said they sent us beer. I just haven't.
We're gonna
gotten
get
it yet.
Dogfish in here.
Who?
I don't know. They just said all it said was I sent Justin beer today. And I didn't drink it. I swear
today.
I didn't get
Okay.
it yet. No, it wasn't today. That's what the posting said. It was somewhere.
Actually,
earlier
I was
this week.
hoping that we could try somebody else's beer, or some more listeners' beer, and
next show.
Well, a lot of the
Deal with
listeners
it.
were stoked that we tried Crotch Rot's beer. I know that sounds weird.
that
if
was
you're a new
very
listener.
ballsy.
That's his forum name.
But that's one of our.
It's very, very
That was-
strange.
that was very ballsy. That
It's even
to be
weirder
the first
when I
guy
say-
to do that,
Yeah.
and I think you're on the right track.
Well, some of the guys in the forum said that they thought it was real cool too, and I think they're going to send theirs too.
Yeah,
so we'll be
thanks,
testing
Christian.
other people's
Thank
beer.
It's not
Someone
just because
gonna-
we want beer; we just want to fill some more space in the show
Right.
and drink beer. Yeah,
Exactly. Someone wants to know if Drake spills cornies.
Cornies.
Those are the
we
little-
we
so-
do, but it takes about 24 hours because we're not really set up for that.
Okay.
But it could happen.
Is it all 15s or 15 gallons?
No, we do 15 5s,
Sankey?
7 9s, and 5 gallons. But yeah, they're all Sankey. That's the thing. It's like,
What if you brought your own keg over there?
yeah, that's the
Slip
thing.
you a $20 bill. And
Yeah,
Well,
that'll
that'll get
cover
you half a
labor.
keg.
no, I mean just to get you to look the other way that it's not a Sankey.
Oh. No,
That's over and above.
we can fill them, but it's just we're typically busy all the time. So
Okay.
if you want to drop the corny off, we can get to it eventually.
Gotcha.
And that means 24 hours.
Where do you distribute in the nation?
Just
here?
Bay
Just West
Area,
Coast?
essentially. California or Southern California gets some of the beer. There's O'Brien's down in San Diego. He orders our beer a lot.
Is it Tom or?
How do you get
Tom
it to
Nickel,
him?
Yeah, Tom Nichols. Yeah.
We have a distributor that actually does the whole state.
Okay.
So
Nice.
I call Tom. I tell him we have 1,500.
Well, when you go out of state,
And he
there's,
orders
there's
it.
a lot of politics and a lot of things that happen when you want to
Yeah.
distribute your beer right out of state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They want to
Once beer crosses state lines, it's
they want to
yeah.
work your name of
Yeah.
your beer.
Licenses, I'm sure.
The
Pain in
licenses,
the
transportation fees, all kinds of
And
stuff.
plus, most of our labels only say Calo Cash refund.
Right.
So we can't go in. I'm sorry.
That's cool.
We can't go into certain states because it's not on our label.
Ah, right.
And yeah, they want to mess with a lot of things.
Yeah.
Changes everything. When you
Well,
go to
it's
the States.
Interstate transport of
it's
alcohol.
it's kind of crazy how beer is like that, and yet wine you can do whatever you want.
The wine
know.
guys don't think that. They think,
Well,
they
yeah.
think they're so worked over.
They're a different breed.
Yeah.
They're not.
They're
brewers.
a totally different breed, but it's just it's a pain in the ass to
It is.
to be second tier to them when we're making some
Right.
great stuff.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, Vinny right now is sending
Russian River?
Yeah, from Russian River. Sorry,
Yeah.
is sending beer across state lines and legally.
Yep.
But he's making great beer.
Well, I was talking to the guys at Lagunitas, and when they were starting to grow and they wanted to start moving stuff across the line, they had a beer they wanted to call Chronic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's
And-
called Censored.
Yeah, and they couldn't call it Chronic because
Actually, they did call it Chronic.
They
I
did,
do
yeah.
believe, and it got label approved by
Right.
the ABC. And
the
then,
ABC with the label.
then they woke up one day and they're like,
Yeah.
"Wait, this says Chronic."
This
Yeah.
is Chronic, and it's like you can't call your beer Chronic. That has drug innuendos. To
Yeah.
it.
But what happened?
But we can have a
right?
Bud.
You can have Bud, exactly.
Touche.
Bud all over the country.
Budweiser.
Yeah.
We can have Bud. I'll have a Bud.
I just
but I
love
can't have
that-
a Chronic.
When Chronic went through the ABC, right? Some square, some tard was sitting there
Right.
like, "Oh, Chronic, that sounds nice." Must
Paper
mean that
paper
you-
pusher.
Must mean that you drink a lot of it, right?
Right.
And then finally it got to somebody with like half a brain and a little bit of street savvy, and he's like, "Chronic, dude, my kid smokes Chronic. You can't call this Chronic." No, they got away for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They also
Same beer, different label.
Exactly, now called Censored. I think that was cool of them to call it Censored, though. When if
Yeah.
they had to rethink a name, they're like, "Hey, we'll call it Censored then."
Well, that's another thing. Why did the ABC allow that? Because you can see on the back it says Chronic.
Yeah.
It's like censored over it.
It's just weird laws all the time. Lagunitas was also having their 420 parties every Thursday
Yes.
that got shut down.
But that's a tax thing.
It was a license thing.
License tag.
They're trying to do it again.
Yes.
I don't think it was because it was labeled a 420 party, but just goes to show that the intricacy of the law is what gets you.
An excuse
Especially with
party.
alcohol too. More beer? Okay.
Different beer?
Yeah.
Let's take a little break. We'll get back. We'll wrap things up with Roger from Drake's. Talk
Yeah,
a little
ask some
more
questions, so.
about their beer. Drink a little more of their beer, and then we're going to give something away. What are we giving away, John?
Give it away, give it away, give it away, give it
Yeah,
away.
some Drake shirts, it looks like.
We got Drake stuff to give away?
Yes.
I thought that was for me. Okay.
You wish, John.
Oh,
Yeah, you can buy it, Doc.
I like your shirt.
Can I borrow your wallet for a second?
Cool.
All right, guys, we'll be right back. We're going to give stuff away. I'm going to give something away to the chat room because you guys are cool. Maybe there's somebody who takes off work. That'd probably be a good idea.
And not Matt.
You guys are going to need some clothes real soon. So we'll give you a shirt.
Matt, you're not eligible.
And then, of course, I want to take a caller. So we'll get somebody on the air to talk with us. We'll give something away to them. I haven't figured out what you're going to have to do yet. Maybe like cluck like a chicken or something weird. We'll be right back. It's the Brewing Network.
Entertainment you want. Information you need. The Brewing Network.
All right, we're back. We're going to finish up with Drake's and give some stuff away and wrap up
We got
the
some
show
shirts.
and have a little more fun before we go. And all
We need to
kinds of-
try his barrel-aged beers.
kinds of good stuff like that. Yeah, I want to try that. I had a stupid question. I was like, is he going to bring the barrel? And they all laughed at me. Like I'm an idiot. I don't know why he can't bring the
that
barrel.
is-
What size barrel? 60
Stupid
ounce?
question.
Fair enough. So we're going to try some... he didn't say. We're going to try some barrel-aged beer. Dr. Scott's got some other beers to try, too, from Portland, right? Or from
Washington.
From Washington. All right.
Okay, good.
Lots of beer to try. I hope you guys at home are trying. The first giveaway is going to be real simple. I want you to call in, be a nice person. Actually, it'd be funny if you're a mean person. I don't care. And tell us what you're drinking and what you got fermenting. And I'm going to give
What
you...
are you drinking?
What do we got? How many shirts we got to
Two
give away
shirts.
there? We got
Two.
2 shirts? Okay, perfect. So we'll give one to a caller and one to a chat room. 888-401-BEER. Call in and tell us what you're drinking.
And they're both XLs.
And what you're brewing.
They're both
So-
XLs.
They're both extra. That's fine. There's
100% cotton.
not too many brewers below XL, right? Look at the size of that beer, Roger.
You're toting a big beer,
Brought it
baby.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. And by the way, Daniela's here. Those of you in the chat room, we know you like to talk to her. So if you got anything to say, she's here to say
Beautiful
hi.
Daniela.
We just like to hear her say speed. And
Can you say sweet?
We gave her a complex last week after that. She's like, how come I have to say Sweden all the time? Hi, Daniela. You want to say hi to your loyal fans?
Hi to my loyal fans. I'm tired today.
no, say Sweden.
She just got off work.
Please.
See,
But she's
I
here.
love
If
Justin.
you've got any hellos, we don't have to do that. Come on.
Okay, sorry.
You're making me blush. There we go. We got our first call. Matt's going to answer for the first time. How disappointed is that person going to be to get Matt instead of Daniela on the other end of the phone line? But that's all right. We'll put them on the air. They can talk to Drake's a bit. What are we about to drink here, Roger, so that we know?
This is our 15th anniversary lager. So
Okay.
11%.
And this is the one that's barrel-aged?
This is not barrel aged,
Not
but
barrel-
that
okay.
other bottle right there is.
Okay, gotcha.
He woke up with wood.
Wow.
What are you trying to say?
Who didn't? Come on. Matt, what do you got going on over there? A listener wants to win a shirt? He's writing a bunch of stuff down.
I think
Matt's-
his name's Nick.
Very doppelbucky.
We're talking to Nick
It is, yeah,
Yeah.
Horn from
essentially what it
Halifax,
is.
Nova Scotia.
Really? I'll put him on the air.
Nick
Just-
Horn from
just-
Halifax, Nova Scotia is calling in right now to win a T-shirt.
That's awesome.
He'll need that T-shirt. Maybe she would give him a sweatshirt.
All right. Tell him to hang on a second.
Jonathan, doppelbuck. 11%, baby.
All right, go ahead. Hang it up.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Just-
hold on.
Hopefully we did this right.
This is
Nick,
all mine,
are you
right?
there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, Nick, what's happening?
Not much.
You're calling us from Nova Scotia?
Yeah.
How you working that out? Just doing a little long-distance phone call?
No, man, it's 888.
And it worked?
Yeah?
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
888's good in Canada.
Quick, hang up. John, when you get that bill, send it to
on your
Dr.
dime, hey?
Send it to Dr. Scott.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Doc.
Hey,
Can I borrow a credit card for that?
I'll give you mine.
How are you, Nick?
Good, man.
What are you drinking?
I've got a smoke and smoked porter.
Really?
Ooh.
What did you use to smoke it?
Some peated malt.
Okay.
All right.
What was your gravity?
1.048, I think.
Nice.
alcohol content?
It's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Your final alcohol content? What do you got?
It's up around 5.
Okay. Well, keep you warm.
Keeps you warm in that Nova Scotia thing.
Extremely malty.
All right. You got a lot of brewers around you out there in Nova Scotia?
What's that?
You got a lot of brewers around you out there?
Yeah.
Few?
We're not bad.
Okay. Is this
how many of your friends listen to the news beer radio?
You know, I just got word of you guys, and it's my second week.
Oh, okay.
So I'm passing it around though.
Hey,
Good.
cool. We appreciate that.
Yeah, really, because word of mouth's the best thing.
Yeah, I'm
word of beer.
part of a brewing club up here called the Brew Nosers.
Okay.
And,
you guys have
the old Blue Nose was a schooner up here from Nova Scotia.
Okay.
So I'm passing it around, and it's going to get out, you know? Word's going to spread.
That's what we think. That's what we hope, right? Right, guys?
I got word of you guys.
Justin likes spreading things.
From Pro Brewer, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, I'm glad you tuned in a second week. That's a plus, right? It's a plus for us.
Yeah, you said it.
The first week didn't scare you off. Yeah, we were going to ask people today to go ahead and tell their friends. We hadn't done that before, but I guess it could help. Just tell your friends. They'll tune in, and we'll get to keep doing this and maybe even, sell enough advertising to pay for it or something. Something like that.
Right now it's just an excuse for people to bring Justin beer.
Yeah. Which is a plenty good reason for me to do
Bastard.
the show, by the way. Yeah.
Everybody should bring everybody beer.
That's
Yes.
true. Free beer is good. I'm trying to remember
What's your favorite thing to brew?
We've got this light ale going that's just a great quaffer.
Oh, good.
Since the lawn's growing up here, you know, gotta mow it.
Gotta mow it every day.
Yeah.
Hey, do you guys say a boot?
About. Yeah. You have to go to Newfoundland for a boot.
Oh, okay. You hear that anger? He's like, it's about jackass.
You are a jerk.
He hasn't said A.
No, he
Close,
didn't
though.
say
You're pretty much on the border.
Fair enough.
Glad we're giving him a shirt.
So what do you do there in Nova Scotia?
I'm a mechanic.
Oh.
On what?
Cars.
Oh.
Are you supposed to be at work right now? What time is it there?
It's 11 p.m.
No.
Wow.
Get to work, buddy. Stop being so lazy. Okay. I can't believe our 800 number works from there. That's awesome. I think because someone from
888.
Australia, what's the same difference? Someone from Australia tried though, and it didn't work. Try it from Australia. Try again.
Probably need to do a country code beforehand.
Oh yeah, maybe you got to go 011
Yep.
and then 1888.
Yep.
Try that. Somebody try that. I want to know if it works. Particularly somebody who's in the band
011 numbers are
AC/DC.
expensive.
What's that?
All those 011 numbers are expensive.
Yeah, they are. So did you just dial direct 1888 and it worked?
Yep.
Hey, that's
Dang.
cool. Apparently, the United States likes Nova Scotia or something. That's probably what
It's
it
been
is.
approved.
Yeah, we have pre-approved it. Jerks.
We've got that famous Canadian beer,
Which is what?
What's all that about?
which is alcoholic.
That's funny.
Good point.
Good point.
That's why you're allowed to call.
Yes.
All right, well, you win a shirt. And
Thank you.
damn it, we got to send it to Nova Scotia.
I know.
What size
Not
are
that
you?
bad. We're just north of Maine.
Okay, that's not that bad. I'll just send it to some guy I know in Maine and have him
Yeah.
bicycle it up
It
to
would
you or
drive-
something.
PO box.
Did we get your address and email or?
Yeah, hang on. Don't hang up when I let you go, but I'm not done with
Sure.
you yet.
Sounds good, guys.
What's your favorite beer to drink that's not a home brew?
It's got to be a micro.
Yeah.
Drake's.
There's a brewery up here. There's one in Halifax and there's one in Toronto. If you guys are touring around,
What are they called?
they've got a website. I think it's grantbrewery.ca.
Okay.
But they've got an unbelievable best bitter and Old Peculiar.
Nice.
Nice.
They're just great beers.
Okay. Does your brew club, yeah, I want some of that. Is it the same as I already have
No.
here? Oh, I
No,
gotta
this
finish
is-
first.
This is the same beer that's been aged in a bourbon barrel.
Okay. Sorry, Nick, talk amongst yourselves for a second while I finish my beer.
Sure.
do that hop belch.
How often do you brew?
Okay,
Nick?
I'm done.
Wow.
What's that?
How often do you brew?
In the summertime, now it's like at least once every couple of weeks.
Nice.
I've got a brew buddy, so we split it between each other.
You
And,
do?
we've each got a kegerator.
Okay. Do you do 10-gallon batches or?
Recently, we've been doing 20.
Wow.
Attaboy.
We've got 2 tandem sand key systems going.
Nice.
I love it when I hear 20.
Yeah.
Doubling the average.
Hey, what you sporting here, bud?
Light up every time. 20 gallons at home.
20.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Deal with that.
I gotta brew 4 times a week to get 20 gallons, Nick.
We could get 40 gallons in a day if we pushed it.
You should push it.
You should send us some beer.
Hey, does your brew club have a website you want to plug?
I don't know it off by hand. It's on
are you in the chat room?
Updated in a long time.
Okay, no problem. I just thought I'd help you out.
You can throw in the chat room.
There's a great forum that I go on, www.bodensatz.com, BODENSATZ.
Okay.
And that's a great forum.
All right, I'll check it out. I've not heard of that one. John, you been on that one?
No, Matt. Okay, no.
Matt's been on every forum.
Yeah.
Matt, you've never heard of this one?
Matt is forum guy. Okay,
Yeah.
Matt's going to be there.
There we go.
He'll be there by tonight.
He'll
you can
be all
sure.
over there, yeah. So a triple freak.
Actually, I've got some pictures on there of the system. It's I'm Kegermeister.
Okay, cool.
So
it's a good name.
Check me out.
All right, Nick.
I've got a wicked mill I built from scratch.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're doing all grain then, of course.
Oh yeah.
20 gallons of all grain all the time.
Good man.
Smoking.
Good man.
Atta boy.
Wow.
I kind of feel dorky when I get
Stop the
excited
box
about
off.
that sometimes. 'Cause I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm kind of a beer dork when it comes to that.
You look like one.
I do. But you
Well,
know,
no, that's just the dork.
Okay.
no, that's like when I start talking about your gadgets and stuff and I get all excited, Dr. Scott, I'm like, yeah.
Oh, I'm a gadget dork.
I'm a
Big
nerd.
time. Oh,
Yeah.
I am too.
I think you've ran out of options, though. You should
No.
start partial boil, man. That's where it's at. For you, man. That's the future.
All right, Nick. Hey,
Like my
thanks
40
for the
gallons.
call. We appreciate it.
Anytime, guys.
Don't hang up because Matt's got to take your information down.
All right.
So hang on 1 second.
Cheers.
You're going to get an extra large shirt. I hope you got a beer gut.
Working on it.
Hang on.
Working on it.
Well, this
All right,
this
there you go.
Doppelbock?
Our first
Great.
out-of-country call. That's amazing. See? We're getting you publicity in Nova Scotia, man. They can't drink your beer, but at least they know about you.
We can't get out of the Bay Area, but hey.
Tell that to the suits for us, will you?
So
Holy
all
cow.
is this all
Yeah,
music?
it tastes like bourbon, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing was is that it's the beer. Sorry, folks. Sometimes I forget that you guys are there.
Especially late in the show.
As I was taking a drink, before it even hits your mouth, you know what's coming. You could feel it. And I was like, I'm drinking scotch. And then it hit my mouth. What is it? What am I drinking, Roger?
It's bourbon. It's the same beer we had before.
It's the same beer, the anniversary, but it's been aged in a bourbon barrel since around Thanksgiving.
Wow.
So the barrel had been used for bourbon for who knows how many
Right.
batches. And now,
No. Every bourbon barrel has to be new.
ah, okay.
And then
It's only
they have to
used
sell
once.
it.
Okay.
So they can sell it for a lot of money. Mostly to the Scotch people. But,
Yep.
and
It just adds that
it
flavor.
imparts a lot of vanilla and a lot of the bourbon flavors that come through. And bourbon has a lot of vanilla in it.
Tastes like alcohol.
What beer
No,
was
it
this
tastes
again?
like bourbon.
What beer was this again?
This is the 15th anniversary.
Oh wow.
I don't know about it. I haven't decided if I like it or not yet. It's making me make a fun face
I'll
right
get you
now.
to like bourbon.
No, it's strong. It's
Yeah.
about. I would say this is probably about 14%.
Wow.
Smoking.
That's why I can't finish it.
Okay.
No, wait, are your lips numb?
No, I just want to point out that is the first time in the history of my radio career that I've been speechless. I've been doing radio for 3 years. That's the first time that I opened my mouth. I don't know if you guys saw
I
that.
saw that.
And
It's like-
nothing came out.
That's hard to do.
It was the cross between the flavor and the hearing 14%, and I just had nothing to say.
He looked like a slot machine. His eyes were just rolling, and his mouth was open.
Because what do you say about that?
And nothing was coming
Job
out.
well done.
I'm going to try it again. I'm going to
There you
convince
go.
How many
myself.
gallons
I
of
think Daniela needs to try that one.
We only put it in one bourbon barrel, which is 55 gallons.
Now, do you guys sell that?
We will eventually take it out of the barrel. I just took it out to
Daniela
have you
just
guys
coughed.
try it.
Oh,
Okay.
guys out there, this is a treat.
Yeah. This is
Yeah,
awesome.
it's
I
strong.
really like bourbon, and this is a treat.
I've never heard of or tasted anything like this before. And before I was a brewer, I was drinking all kinds of, just different kinds of beer. I love different beer. I've never had anything like this before.
Yeah, it's-
Way out there, isn't it?
It's pretty unique.
What a good idea.
How did you clean the barrel? Or did you?
No, we just went straight in.
Wow.
We got it.
40% you can go straight
Yeah.
in.
There was probably a little bit left in there, so we kind of
Yeah.
fortified it, but
You got to sip it.
Yeah, you do.
And that was my problem. My first drink, I was like, another beer. And I just threw it down. No one decided to give me a warning.
No.
And,
That's why you're speechless, Jay.
wow.
No, there's a lot of cool stuff here. It's basically a Doppelbock going in, and it picked up a lot from the barrel.
It sure did.
But it's not like throwing oak chips into your Doppelbock. It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you're extracting the flavors that the bourbon itself, like, introduced to the barrel.
Right.
Okay.
So you're getting stuff from the oak from the barrel.
Yeah.
You're also getting stuff that the bourbon imparted into it.
How many barrels are we talking here? You guys got sitting?
One, right?
One.
We have one barrel, and it's 55 gallons.
Okay.
Eventually, we'll bottle it in 7-ounce.
Okay.
And you should.
Thank you for bringing this, by the way.
And what will you sell those for?
How much do you like it?
Hardly anybody's going to get this, so it doesn't matter how much it's going to be sold for.
I'd go $10 a bottle if I were you guys.
$10 for a 7-ounce?
Yeah.
No, we're probably looking at like 3 or 4.
Yeah, no, a 7-ounce Belgian will go like a nice Trappist. They'll be $8.70.
See?
$9.
I'm a capitalist. I say $10.
Well, the thing is, there's one barrel of this.
What do you want?
There's one barrel.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's why I say
go
$10.
on eBay.
I would do $10.
Just do the eBay thing.
No, we'll probably do 3 or 4, maybe 5.
But
tops.
Yeah,
it's a good thing.
Now, are you going to only sell that in the brewery, or?
Typically, most of the stuff that we sell that's barrel aged is through the brewery.
Okay.
We have like Port Barrel Imperial Stout right now. We have the 2 other barrels that I brought is brandy barrel stuff, barley wine, and Jolly Roger, which is a Scotch ale. It's been aged in a brandy barrel for
a lot of cherry.
Coming up on coming up on about 2 years now. So.
Awesome. Okay. This is great.
Okay.
It's a good thing you got here late.
John's going to spend some time at Drake's. Yeah. Do you guys do brew tours?
We do.
You do?
We are open to the public 4 to 7 on Fridays.
Okay.
And typically the tour starts about 5:30.
And who will conduct that? Do you do that?
Or
you just kind of
it's either Melissa or me.
Okay.
So,
all right.
I don't like to do it. So.
Yeah. You don't. You don't like people.
You got to brew.
He's just like more happy when they're not around.
Yeah. I like people when they're not near me.
That's what I was going to say. Radio is good for you because you get to talk to people without talking to people.
Exactly. Stay away from me.
Beer doesn't talk.
Yeah. Do you guys go to festivals and things like that to try to get your name out?
Yeah, actually, we're doing a festival next week. Fermenting for a Change. It's microbreweries. What is it?
Breast cancer.
Breast cancer, yeah. They're Fermenting for a Change. It's a breast cancer thing at Marin Brewing Company.
Nice.
And actually, wanted to mention this. Excuse me. There's 6 breweries. 21st Amendment, ourselves, Bison, Triple Rock, Marin, and what was the other one?
Moylan's?
No. Anyway. They're going to be pissed that I didn't mention them.
That's all right.
But we made a same hop beer that we're gonna unveil at that festival next weekend.
Okay.
And it's actually in there if you want to.
No, we don't want to touch that.
What are you talking about?
So jump on that.
It's basically the brewers just use the same guidelines for the malt bill.
Okay.
And basically, you had to get 35 BUs from the first edition of hop.
Okay.
And then 15 from your second, and then 5, I think, from your second to last, and then this amount for your whirlpool and dry hopping.
Okay. That's a really interesting thing to do because now you get to figure out how everybody's is different.
Exactly.
And then you can all talk about why it's different.
Exactly.
And that's an awesome idea.
So everyone's using their own yeast, their own water, their own malt.
Okay.
Cool.
That's really cool.
So it'll be interesting to see how it comes out.
All right, so where's this festival and when?
It's at Marin Brewing Company next Saturday. I think it's like 12 to 5.
Okay. Open to the public?
Open to the public, yes.
Do you know, what's the cost to get in? Do you know
I think
that?
it's $20 to get in for unlimited tasting.
Okay.
What's it cost to fly from Nova Scotia?
$500.
Yeah.
One way.
One way.
Yeah.
If you start driving now.
Yeah. Or if you meet my guy in Maine with the bicycle.
Yeah.
But you only drive one way because we wouldn't want you to drive home after that.
Yeah.
They can stay with you, Jay.
Yeah. Why not?
Oh, you know what? It's Saturday show.
Mm-hmm.
They come and do the show with us on Sunday.
On Sunday.
Yeah.
There
you guys
you go.
we should go to that festival on Saturday.
You should.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
I'm all down to help out the anti-breast cancer movement.
Yeah.
I'm into that.
Because, it's all about health. And, beer and health is you.
That's
you are
me,
that
man.
guy.
Beer is good for you.
I'm into the organics. I'm into beer and health.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right. Wonder if beer helps prevent breast cancer. If
might.
it does,
I'm sure it does.
I'm on it.
on the breast.
I'm the newest advocate.
We need to move on to the next beer.
All right, well, serve it up. I'm ready. Bring
it.
In the meantime, we got to do something. We got one more shirt to give away. We got to give it away to the chatties, who, by the way, sent me a note that they want pictures of Daniela already.
Yeah. First they said a couple of weeks ago, we want pictures of the whole crew.
Yeah.
We saw right through that one.
Yeah. They all want pictures of Daniela. Well, that brings me to my latest update, which is probably going to send me into a downward spiral of ranting and raving, but I'm okay with that. When the website's up,
you're there.
Yeah,
let's rant and rave. You're good at that.
You're spiraling now.
Now this is important. When the website's up, there will be pictures of everybody, and if Daniela allows us to, we'll put a picture of her up there. Daniela, are you going to allow us to put a? She's not sure.
It won't be naked.
She's not too sure yet.
How about like the back of her
Unlike
head?
now.
A fully clothed picture, yeah.
Unlike now.
How about just her eyes?
We should put a picture.
That's only for us here in the studio.
It's your girl, man.
You know what we ought to do? We ought to put a picture of Roger up and say it's Daniela.
Yeah, with a wig on.
I heard that.
Sorry. Anyway, when the website's up, we'll put pictures up for you guys. How about that? Which brings me to talk about the website to you folks who want to know about it. There was a question really early in the show about the archives. John and I have decided to no longer give you dates about when the website is going to be up because we end up shooting ourselves in the foot. And
every week.
And here's why. Because people tell us, yeah, the website's going to be done on July 1st, or the website's going to be done on April 1st, or the website's going to be done whenever it's going to be done. And
December 2004.
And the first comes and goes, and it's never done. It's just never done. And I don't know if it's like, if it's like NASA or something to build a website. I'm not positive if it's the same as sending somebody to the moon, but it's apparently really difficult to finish a website.
To do it right.
So, we could have put up a really bad website a long time ago.
It works.
We need to
That's
sing
all we
Guido.
care about.
Guido with the bent nose. We'll sing Guido over there.
Yeah.
We're able to have guests. We can do the show. We're good.
Yeah.
Until then, let's take our time.
Well, but here's the thing. I feel like I need to explain to people, sort of, I'm going to give you a rough idea of what's been happening, because we sort of kept you in the dark to respect people's privacy, and I'll respect their privacy, but tell you at the same time. We're on our third or fourth web designer now. Our first one never got started. Our second one worked really hard, but had a lot of other things going on. Our third one, really not sure what happened.
I don't remember it.
So, I looked at the website yesterday, and it's so close to done, it's unbelievable. It's 99.9% finished. Like, it's so close to done that I could
push the enter button and it's there.
Exactly.
You're talking about the one that's up or the one that we're working on right now?
The one that we're working on. The one that's
it's
up.
almost there.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, which I saw yesterday. It got almost completed yesterday. And it's gonna get
You saw
done.
it yesterday? How's it going?
That's what I'm saying. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. It looks good, but the other half has to be done, which is basically to put it up.
Yes.
And I'm waiting to hear from the person to put it up.
Okay.
I know that people are working hard on it, and some people aren't working so hard on it, and there's all sorts of things like that happening. And I want to get it up for you guys because you need the archives, and they're going to be there. But I can't throw it up when it's not ready, and it's kind of out of my control. People keep saying it's going to be done, and it's not done. And what am I going to do? I can't punch everybody in the nose. It's not going to get me a website done, right?
No. Yeah.
Justin is not a computer geek.
I'm not a computer geek.
You're a DJ.
Look, yeah, exactly.
You need to talk.
I got tons of ideas, and I got lots to say.
He's an idea man,
right?
You're a thinker.
But I gotta have other people do it all for me, right? I'm like, here's my idea, make it happen, thanks, go. But I'm not tech savvy, and I can sit down and learn it, but it's not my thing, and I get bored quick, and I learn it, and then I don't want to know it anymore because it bores me, and right, so I can't do it, but it's gonna get done.
It will get done in good time.
So
just
it's coming, but we're gonna stop.
This beer,
we're gonna stop giving. I don't have a beer. No one filled me. I'm gonna stop giving you actual dates because I'm actually feeling bad about saying it's gonna be done on the first and then it's not done.
No.
So hang in there. That's actually part of the thing that sparked our fight in the forum, our little fire that went there. But it'll be
done.
But it's all over. It'll be done when it's done. It's coming soon. I know you guys need it because not everybody can tune in on Sundays. We need it too because it helps us get sponsorship. It helps people like Drake's get more exposure to their show because lots of people who can't listen live are going to download it later.
We do need more listeners, so tell your friends.
If they download, listeners.
Well, just tell your friends that they can't listen now; they can listen later.
This beer is awesome, by the way.
So it's coming. That's what I got to say about that. It's coming. All right. What more do you want from me?
Yeah.
If I build it myself,
Jay, it's okay. Let's drink this beer. Let's talk about this.
There we go.
No, this has to be
smells
said,
like
John.
wine.
If I build it myself, it's going to look like a chalkboard with crayons on it, right? So I got to wait for somebody who knows what they're doing.
Like that sign in the bathroom.
Like the sign in my bathroom that displays how to put toilet paper rolls into garbage.
And change it. When to change it, how to change it.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm really floored about this beer right now.
Yes, this is a nice one.
One, it smells like wine.
Yeah.
And
it looks real good from over
dark.
here.
Yeah.
Someone pour him a beer.
Thanks,
what
Clyde.
beer did you add to this beer?
I give it to him.
This is the Jolly Roger. It's a Scotch ale.
It's a Scotch ale.
That's
Wow.
all right. I'm all right.
Awesome.
No, he's not all right.
I'm thirsty, but I'm all right. It's another one of these. Is this the final one that you brought?
Roger, I think you should do
He's got
more
one
of this
too.
in your brewery.
Next one.
In brewing this, I mean, this is awesome beer.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I mean we do a lot of barrel-aged stuff.
This is
You do a lot of it?
I never knew you did barrel age until this show, basically. So
You guys
this is
don't
awesome.
promote your barrel aging at all. It's
Well, it's still in the barrel, so.
So it's the first time you guys have done it then. You didn't do it in the past.
He shouldn't even.
We've done it in the past. We've done Imperial Stout in a port barrel.
Okay.
He shouldn't
this
even
is
tap
a
the barrel.
Scotch ale that's been in a brandy barrel for 18 months.
18 months. Did you have any evaporation happen, or?
It happens.
Okay.
You just got to keep it topped up.
Right. What do you top it up with?
Wow.
The same beer. Just have a little keg off to the side and.
You know, I read
Fill
this
it.
thing in.
It's like wine.
Your beers
It's like
are reminding me of this because it was in. I think it was Zymergy. It might have been Brew Your Own. I don't care. Neither one of them are paying us to whatever one it was.
Yeah,
we'll be in their magazine.
It was a magazine.
Don't
It was
do that.
named later.
Yes.
After the promotion.
Exactly. When they pay me. But the article was called Beer Artisans. And it was about people who are really doing innovative and different things with beer.
That was New Brewer. That was with Vinny and Tom Nickel and Tommy Arthur.
Exactly. And they're calling themselves artisans and really being innovative with what they're, and
No,
I think
we wouldn't have a double IPA if there weren't those guys.
Well,
if there wasn't Vinny, we wouldn't have a lot of things.
Right.
Although the beers that they were talking about are not your double IPAs, because your beers like that, which are new, they're doing the same process, they're just doubling it, or they're doing something different.
They're creating a new beer style.
Well, but they're basing it off of, it's still very different than something like this. Because this, you're doing something completely new in the brew process, right? Their process is still the same. They're adding things to the process, and they're maybe adding extra ingredients. But this particular article, which might not have been in that magazine, was about people doing completely different things with beer, i.e. aging it in a brandy barrel. Right? Like that kind of stuff is different than creating a double IPA. And this is the first example. After reading it, I thought it was a great idea, but I'd never tasted anything that was doing it. And these two beers that I've had, to me, are an example of exactly that. Where you're taking beer and you're doing something completely original and thought up about, because people have aged it in oak barrels. Okay, now you have an oak flavored IPA. But not aging it in an actual brandy barrel where you're taking qualities from a different drink entirely and infusing it into beer. Now that's a good idea, and that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, excuse me again. That's the trend right now in craft brewing is, barrel aging beers. A lot of people do bourbon barrels. A lot of people do like whatever.
Yeah.
Whiskey barrels. And my whole philosophy on brewing is like, if everyone's doing that, let's do a brandy barrel.
Right.
Let's do something totally different.
Yeah.
And see how that comes out,
It's a good idea.
Instead of like, hey, let's follow the norm,
Well, John, what do you taste in this beer?
What do I taste?
Well,
a lot of fruit. A huge amount of cherry.
There's not a lot of carbonation, so...
you don't need carbonation.
This is straight out of the barrel.
You don't need it, though.
No, it's not. And it's just...
It's so rich and malt within
malty.
fruit. And it's balanced. It's clean. I mean, it's an amazing beer.
To me, I think
I've never had a beer like this, especially a Scotch ale.
Yeah.
I
actually think it tastes a lot like a port.
It is like a port.
It's very similar,
like a wine,
even more than a wine. It's more like a port, like very aged, and you'd have it sort of as an after dinner drink, and you'd sip a small glass of it more than a giant pint.
I can't drink the rest of this. I will, but not
now. You have to because we have something new coming around.
I don't know. I'm really floored right now with Drake's. Like I never knew that they brewed this type of beer. So, props to you. You guys are great.
Well, thank you.
Great beer.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
But this is actually an English style barley wine that's been in a brandy brew ale as well.
You guys are flooring
This one I can handle more than the other one because it doesn't taste like whiskey. Like you don't get that whiskey thing.
Yeah, that's the nature of the barrel that you put it into. You know,
that makes sense.
I like that. I like bourbon.
Yeah, but you're a bourbon guy.
Yeah, I'm actually a Scotch guy, but I'll branch out to bourbon. I'll take a tangent, and I really like nice bourbons.
Live a little.
Live a little. What's great about this is there's a pro brewery, a craft brewery, experimenting like it.
Yeah.
Outside of a homebrew level, going to a pro level, and they're doing these different things with their beer, and it's exceptional.
Really great. It's actually, what's even better is that you guys are owned by people who aren't brewers, and they're allowing you to do whatever you want with this stuff too.
Still family owned, right?
They give us total freedom.
That's really
to do
nice.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And actually, he encourages it. He comes down, and he's our head QC guy. Meaning he comes down and drinks.
Yeah,
pint
excessively.
after pint.
What's his
just
name?
to make sure it was good.
Yeah. Just quality control here, guys.
I'm quality control.
I'm Drake. I'm here.
But no, he totally encourages us to do whatever,
Well, cutting edge is a good
want.
thing.
It is.
You might bleed a little.
Here's what we're going to do.
You are cutting.
What are we going to do?
We got that other shirt to give away, so we're going to wrap it up here real soon. We're going to play Stump the Brewer. You didn't give it away, did you? No, I mentioned it.
He
and we didn't give it away.
He thought we wrapped it up. We were just talking amongst ourselves.
Yeah. The mics are still on. We're going to play Stump the Brewer. We did it last week with Jameel. And guess what, Roger? We're going to do it with you.
Stump Roger.
Look at the time. I got to go.
Can I help him?
And this is for the chat room. I'm not sure. It depends. We'll see.
All right.
If you can stump the brewer, you get the other shirt. It's a Drake's shirt. Let me see the shirt, John. So hold that up. Let me describe it to the
take
people.
my shirt off, model it for you? Hold on.
Yeah. Model it for me. It's a black shirt.
And
got the
Daniela
Drake's.
needs a model.
Oh, that's cool. It's got the Drake's logo on the front and on the back.
A pint a day keeps the scurvy away.
That's what it says on the back. And it's drinkdrakes.com, which we should say anyway. If you guys want to check out the brewery, go to www.drinkdrakes.com. And they show all 4 styles of the beer that they regularly brew there. I went looking on it the other day. You can check out everything. You can read a little bit about each style. You can find out about their winning of the gold medal a couple years ago.
Talk to Roger.
Stuff like that. So drinkdrakes.com. And it's a cool shirt. So like I said, it's black. Got an awesome logo on the front.
It'll keep you warm in those cold states.
Yeah. It's a t-shirt.
It's black.
Oh. So,
it's summer.
Stump the brewer. That's what you gotta do. Ask a question in the chat room. You guys, deserve the prizes, because you're always helping us out. So, give him a question that he can't answer. And if he can't answer it, you get a shirt.
Or phone call?
This is chat room. We already gave away the phone call.
It should be about beer.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah. Good point. At this late in the show, it could be about anything, right? Yeah, it's got to be about.
Why does
beer.
the universe exist?
And what's Daniela wearing?
And it's got to be in order. The first question that comes through that stumps him is going to get it. So there might be a bunch of questions there, but we're going to take it in chronological order. Matt's writing fiendishly right now, so hopefully we got some Stump the Brewer questions there.
Yeah.
I like it when they stump the brewer.
You like it?
Because they come in here.
What about stump?
They're barraging us. It will eventually happen.
What do you got to ask? It's easy.
How do you brew Corona?
I don't know. Is this the first question, Matt?
You piss in a bottle, make it
you
cold.
piss in a fermenter and
make it cold. Make it cold.
And then crash it.
It's sterile.
Here, why don't you read this into the microphone? Because I'm having trouble reading your writing. Not because I'm seeing double.
All right, this is word for word from Oz Brewer in Australia.
Okay.
How much ISO hops are removed when boiling a kit beer for an hour? And he follows that up with, haha, go ahead and answer that one.
I don't understand the question.
I don't either.
I understand the question, but I have no idea what the answer is.
Well, okay.
What's a kit be? Like, that could be any kit, right?
Yeah, I'd say 5%, 4%.
Well, start with the question.
2%?
Start with Doc.
Doc, have another one of those.
All right.
Yeah.
He's feeling good right about it now.
I've never brewed with a kit that actually had hops in it already. I've read about them.
Yeah.
Coopers.
All right.
Yeah, they're from Aussie.
Yeah. And they have
you guys are going to have to ship this to Australia, you know.
I know.
Well, they have pre-hopped kits, so you have to go off of what they say.
It's malted canned extract.
Right, and you have to, what they say is the IBUs.
So it varies per kit.
Yes.
No, it varies per what they say. We got 28 IBUs in there. Yeah.
So there's no one answer.
No. There's
Okay.
none.
All right, so it's not valid.
So next
Like,
question.
bad
or-
question. Okay, well, no, it's like, don't make me smack you on the head like I do my 9-year-old when he asks a stupid question that just doesn't make sense.
So we're going to have to go with the next one because it wasn't specific enough. It's got to be a specific question with one answer.
And
Why are
it's got to be
hops
all grain.
added to beer?
Yeah, all grain would be nice.
What is your middle name?
I love Stump the Brewer. They come in here all confident. I know how to brew.
Yeah.
Don't make me come over to Australia.
And then we shoot them down.
Yeah. All right. What's this one?
Because we're hearing you now.
Well, you're not going to stump the brewer with this one, are you?
Oh, yeah.
How many? Actually, you might. Oh, yeah. Okay, you might. How many IBUs is in Stone IPA?
That's
Which one? Well, that's.
Are we interviewing?
Well, is there a known answer?
No, it's
65.
Which Stone?
Stone IPA.
Stone in Portland or
Yeah.
Stone in San Diego.
San Diego.
Next
Okay.
question.
Oh, you lose.
Roger strutting his
Yeah,
stuff.
he is.
Boy.
Get
You
it, Roger.
lose.
I'll tell you what.
All right, how
Bobby
about
one.
this?
Okay.
The question has to be about, the brewing. Come on, guys.
And pretty much you need to know the answer
This one's too long to write down.
Okay, go
Double IPA guy asked, in underground situations, respiring bacteria can increase the CO2 level to an equilibrium partial pressure of how many times as much as surface water?
Throw it out, man. If you have wild bacteria,
The
swimming in
answer
beer,
is, who cares?
yeah. Throw it out.
Although, is it a brewing question? That's a valid,
It's a valid
specific
question.
brewing question.
I had an 8-month-old Doppelbock go bad because of a wild lactobacillus, and
No,
That's
ask me the question again.
Yeah, let's hear that again.
Ask it once more. Because I
All
think
right.
it is specific and
I
valid.
know, I was going a whole different direction.
Okay,
with
one
that.
more time. Everybody listen carefully. Double IPA guy asks, in underground situations, respiring bacteria can increase the CO2 level to an equilibrium partial pressure of how many times as much as surface water?
How deep is the well? Because I need to know that.
Yeah, but you're not the brewer, so you don't have to
I know,
answer.
but
I'm stumped.
well,
I think
If you have bacteria in your beer, you shouldn't drink it.
no. What he's having to do is
Really?
normal bacteria in the bottom of a well, and it's
Oh.
gonna be under extra pressure
Well, don't work
because
on a well.
it's down a certain amount of feet in the well,
Give me a little
and
pressure.
we'll have some more pressure.
I think I'm giving the shirt to the guy, guys.
I'm
the
stumped.
question was for Roger.
I think it was getting way out of hand here.
Well, I don't work on a well. I work on
Let's ask him a brewing question.
I'm still giving the guy a shirt.
Yeah, whoever. That's good.
I mean, the guy
Let's do it.
thought that's a good question.
Yeah.
It's not a
It is.
specific, all grain brewing question, but the guy,
That's intense.
I wouldn't have thought of that question. Which is
No,
insane.
but I know what he's
It
talking.
could be made up.
I know
Do
what
we
he's
know?
talking
Yeah,
about.
that's true.
If it's not made up.
It could be like out of the Lord of the Rings.
Well,
We don't know.
no, that's how we get normally
That was a movie.
carbonated water out of a spring,
Okay, so it's totally a valid question.
which you wouldn't use for brewing anyway.
All right, listen.
All right.
I'm not going to argue about this question.
Let's get philosophical about
Dude gets a shirt.
it. Yeah.
Can you tell him to just
Yeah,
email?
dude gets a shirt.
Email me your information. It's I know your name. Matt's got it from the chat room. You don't have to give your information there. Just email me your address and stuff. We'll send you a Stone shirt.
Post
It's,
your email in the chat room. Right?
Justin at thebrewingnetwork.com. There you go.
There you go.
All right.
Roger and Claudia, it's Guy. He says, tell it.
A guy?
It's Guy.
Guy's not getting the shirt. Come on, let's go with another.
Roger says the guy is not getting the shirt.
Okay.
Guy already.
That works for
I'll
me.
give Guy a shirt.
Okay, Guy, you don't
Let's
get a
go
shirt.
with another question.
All right, I'm going to be more specific then. You need to ask a question about all grain brewing.
That will help the rest of us.
All grain brewing.
Let's talk about mash temperatures or something. You know,
Mash
there you
temp,
go. There you go.
maybe
Aging, mash temperatures.
Yeah.
stump the brewer.
Stump the brewer.
You get one more chance. Somebody in the chat.
Stump
We got one shirt left to give.
Drakes.
Dun, dun,
Stump
dun,
the
dun,
brewer.
dun, dun, dun,
Stump
dun.
And then we got to wrap it up. So
Yes, we
it's
do.
getting to be a long show. It's warm.
And we have other beers to drink without you.
Exactly.
But you guys must leave now.
I know.
I have a feeling that we're going to be responsible for Doc's first DUI one of these days.
No, you kept me here last
his
week
wife
till
will-
midnight or past.
Yeah, but you didn't exactly
That was your
stop
fault.
drinking.
Well, you fed me pizza, which is cool.
That's true.
That's your fault.
Can we
Well,
talk?
I saw you wait by about 8:30, and I
did.
thought that's strange.
All right, we got another question.
Another question, go.
Go ahead, give Matt the microphone from the chat room. Here you go.
All right, I gotta find it again. This one is from Old Post Brewing in the chat room.
Okay.
What is the portion of liquid called that disappears from the barrels, requiring refilling?
That was Claudia's head against
Claudia,
the
you
microphone,
on?
by the way. That sounded like it hurt. Okay. Doc, you can't give them the answer. Just because it's radio and they can't see what's happening.
That's a valid question.
That is a valid question. And what was it again? And what was the answer again?
Ask the question once more. Do you know the answer? Do you not know the question?
I do. Ooh,
No, Doc,
no.
This is where your
No,
knowledge...
wait, what was the question again? I'm sorry.
That's the question.
I was watching Claudia.
Your knowledge is no longer required.
All right, from Old Post Brewing in the chat room. What is the portion of liquid called that disappears from the barrels, requiring refilling?
You know this, Roger. Bring it home. Either way, they're going to get a shirt.
Evaporation?
Yes! We have a winner.
That's the Angel's Dram.
Yeah.
That's it, right? It's
Yep,
evaporation.
that's right.
Angel's Dram?
All right, you didn't stump the brewer.
Nope.
No, he did. They stumped him, not me.
No, he said evaporation.
They get a shirt.
No,
With their info.
no. What do you call that portion that's gone for aging?
Oh, so it's not evaporation?
No.
Oh, well, I just asked if that's the answer.
goes
You said
in-
yeah.
No, you're wrong then.
It's what's it called? Angels what?
The Angel's Dram.
But it is still evaporates, so it's part of the.
That's
Angels
like a
Dram.
that's like a porno.
No, he's not
thing.
looking for the term evaporation.
I think I have that movie.
Yeah.
We all know about evaporation, but that's not what he's asking. Is that what he's asking?
Well, is it calling
Well, it could be
evaporation Angel's Dram?
He's calling it Angel's Share.
Yeah, the Angels share Angel's Dram, and he stumped him.
All right, give him a shirt.
He gets a shirt.
Yeah.
Who, Drake's gets a shirt?
No, he gets a Drake shirt.
I already got one.
All right. It's late in the show. guys.
But yeah,
We're
the
gonna
Angel's
wrap it up.
share or the Angel's Dram.
Give him a shirt.
Give him a shirt.
Email me, Justin@thebrewingnetwork.com. I already told the other guy.
And-
he gets
and
a shirt,
where are they
too.
from? That's why Scotch costs more when it's older.
I got
He's your
Guy
friend.
covered.
You
I
can
got
take
Guy
care of
covered.
him. All right.
But that's why Scotch costs more when it's
Sure.
older, because more goes away.
So we have shirts
So
going
less.
to where? Canada?
Nova Scotia.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And
Where's
whoever
this one
that
at?
dude was, I don't know. He's going to email me. Do you
Where
know
is
where
he?
he's from, Matt?
I'm asking him.
Okay, we'll find
Okay,
out
cool.
in a minute. That's cool. We got Lagunitas shirts. They went to Australia,
They did.
so getting little microphones all over the place.
I want to get some England guys.
Some England guys?
Yeah,
That'd be
some
good.
British dudes.
Yeah.
I want more beer.
We have more. I got more right there. We got a Grand Cru to taste.
Okay, we're going to wrap it up,
Yeah,
guys.
that was a good show.
It was
Wrap
a
it
good
up,
show.
wrap it up.
That was intense in the beginning with water. And
Yeah.
Hey.
We're going to do another show probably
I
in
can talk
late
more on
August.
About water?
Yeah.
I can do lots more.
Well, we have Vinny from Russian River,
Mhm.
August 14th. The week after, the 21st, we have Matt Bernaldson from Firestone.
Yeah.
And then,
Matt makes great beers.
yeah, he's a yeast freak.
Yeah.
He's
He
full
knows-
Freaking out.
He knows everything.
Yeah, he's a smart little guy. I mean,
I think we might make it
No,
a yeast
no pun
show.
intended.
okay.
Let's make the Firestone a yeast show and like work him over.
We could do that. We did a yeast show. We could do another one.
We should.
Should.
I mean, you could talk a whole month about yeast, probably.
Well, we got 4 things to talk about:
Malt,
malt,
yeast, water.
water, and hops. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
That lasts us about
4 weeks.
It's weird how that works.
Yeah.
We're
You know
off-
what's funny? You know
we're
what
going to be off the air here.
You know what I'm going to do to you guys? This is going to be
Not-
funny.
You're going to press the mute buttons on our microphones?
I should,
Okay.
but I'm not going to. This is going to be funny though. I'm going to edit a short clip. I'm gonna, when our website's up, I'm going to put it up, and the clip is going to be of you guys at the beginning of the show, and then you guys at the end of the show.
Wait. I want to edit you.
Because I talk about my lips getting numb all the time,
Yeah,
but John,
Yeah.
you get all slurry. And Doc, you do the same thing. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it's going to be a funny little archive to just put like, brewcasters in the beginning and brewcasters at the end. It'll be like a 30-second clip.
It's like my name is Carter Scott.
Yeah, I'll take the same sentences basically from the beginning.
I
and
thought
then-
we were friends.
It'll be funny. Listeners are going to love it.
Jerk.
I'd like to have some of our listeners possibly come to our show sometime.
Yeah, you were talking about that last week. Here's what we'll do about that. If you're a listener in our area, we can't have a bunch of people in the studio, but if you're in the area, send us an email. It's justin@thebrewingnetwork.com. And that's the same email for you who just won. You were asking me for my email
Right.
address. Just
If
Justin at the Brewing Network.
If you can talk your wife into coming out to San Francisco,
Mm-hmm.
hang out, do that romantic weekend thing or whatever.
He's not talking dirty. He's talking about if you live in another part of the
I'm just talking
country.
about getting your wife over to the West Coast.
Yeah.
And then you say, by the way, they've invited me to come and talk on the Brew Radio.
That's what I was going to say. If you live here, then go ahead and send us an email. We'll try to get you in. If you live somewhere else in the country and you're a listener and you want to come to the show and you happen to be visiting San Francisco, let us know and we'll let you come into the show and hang out with us. We'd like to talk to you and find out about home brewing in your area. So that's the deal. If you're ever going to be on tour in San Francisco and you can get away from your wife and kids for a few minutes, you can bring them. I don't care. We're not mean or anything. They can play with my dog.
They can play with the pit bull.
Yeah. Kids can play with the pit.
That sounds safe.
She really is nice, though.
Actually, she'd probably lick them. She would lick them to death, or fart them to death.
Yeah. Actually, Lufa did a posting in the forum. I was happy about this. We have an off-topic thing. You can talk about stuff other than beer. And he's like, hey, who loves their dogs? And put pictures of his dogs.
He's like on his laptop with his dogs.
He's got all his dogs.
Dogs in his fold-out couch.
I think that's awesome. I'm going to put my dog up there. I'll put the biscuit up there soon, Lufa. Hang on. Yeah. I just got to take a picture of her.
So your wife's in the bed and you're on the fold-out couch with the dogs?
Yeah.
Chatting with us in the beer room.
That's heaven. It's just where he's supposed to be.
Okay.
That archive's going to be funny, guys.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at you both. You're all smiles. It's going to be good.
Just because I'm having such a good time.
I tell you what, that poor beer just brought me home right there.
Roger, your beers, they're good stuff. They did something to these guys.
Yeah.
I can see that. Before, they were all like this.
Yeah.
Stand up-ish.
Yeah.
Now they're all like...
Yeah. Okay. I welcome you back anytime, and not just because your beer's great, but because you're cool. So if you want to come in another time, we'd like to have you.
It's been a pleasure.
Okay, we'll give you a call. It's drinkdrakes.com. They're out of San Leandro. If you're in our area, try to find them. You can probably buy them at Bevmo. Can you get you at Bevmo? And other
Bevmo and Dronico's, Whole Foods.
Okay.
Bevmo should advertise on our site, because we
talk
mention
about
them every week.
Yeah.
Good and bad, but
I'll just...
It's all warm stored, but,
Yeah, we talk about that all the time, about how stale the beer is and stuff like that. But although...
I'd rather have stale beer that I can get than unstale beer that I can't get.
That's why you got to choose your battles.
Yes.
Claudia, you want to say goodbye to your fans before we go?
Come on, Claudia, jump up here.
Let me turn your microphone back on.
There you go.
Bye, love y'all.
Yeah.
Come on, take that. I want to ask you about the 21st Amendment real quick.
Yes.
San Francisco?
Uh-huh.
And it's a brew pub or a brewery or... You got to pull that microphone down if you would grab that real quick.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It's a brew pub. It's a restaurant.
Okay.
It's 2 blocks from the ballpark.
Okay.
Right where the Giants play. So,
All right.
game days are crazy.
All
the
right.
off season's cool too, because
Do you guys do bands or anything there?
we've tried.
You tried.
It's kind of warehouse style, big and open.
South of Market warehouse.
Yeah, so the sound just bounces off the walls, and it's too much.
Okay.
Even the little three-piece jazz trio was too much.
Okay.
But
Stick to the beer.
But the beer's awesome, and the food is great. And
Okay.
And the service is excellent.
Oh, you've been there, Doc?
Thank you.
Plug in the bar.
I tried.
The waitress there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So 21st Amendment. You like the place then?
I love it.
So it's okay that we plug it for you.
Yeah, it's all good.
All right. 21st Amendment. If you see Claudia there, tip her well.
Thank you.
Tell her you know somebody at the Brewcast.
Not like you jerks out at where I work. You jerks. You know what I'm talking about, Claudia?
If you're fired next week, by the way.
Oh, it's a blessing.
No.
Listen to me. You know what I'm talking? Does this happen to you? It's got to happen sometimes. Where someone they come and they order a couple of beers, right? Let's say they order 3 beers, and their change is $3.50, and they leave you the 50 cents.
Right.
Well, my start was at Steelhead, which was a brewery on Fisherman's Wharf.
Yeah.
Tourist Haven.
Yes, exactly.
Germans who would think
Germans, yes.
a 15% tip on $2 is 30 cents. Yeah, and they thought that was okay.
Okay,
I'm like, you just got hooked up with the $2 beer, and you give me 30 cents.
Let me interject here. I have my brother, who's a bartender, and my brother-in-law, who's a bartender. My brother-in-law is actually a bartender at a golf course, so I hear all the same stories from you. It's the whole thing. Yeah. My brother, who's a bartender, and the Germans that come in, he will just rip them up because they will not leave him a tip. And the other guys that leave him the 30 cents, He's like, excuse me, sir, excuse me. And you run after him. Here's your 30 cents.
Yeah.
I got your change.
Oh, I give it back. You got to give it back.
But then there's the people who are like, wow, I just got a round of beers for $10. Like 5 beers for $10.
Yeah.
They give me a 20. And
Right.
I'm just like, the good always makes up for the bad. So it's all,
Yeah,
I don't worry about it.
Not at the golf.
Well, I always no, I always and they rattle their thing like, give me another one. They don't even say I need another. They just like rattle the glass.
Yeah.
This is my favorite.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
They just smash it
That
up.
was a little louder than I expected. But
No, that's perfect.
I bet when you
Because
bartend,
to
it's
a-
that loud.
Yeah, that's what I mean. To a server, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like you're banging a drum.
Yeah. And you say, if I have to come over there
But
and
I have
smack
to-
you with that glass.
There was who was the I forget where he was from. The guy that came behind he was a foreign guy, but he kept coming behind the bar last weekend to tap me on the shoulder to say he needed beer. And I'm like, okay, that's great, but you need to wait over there.
Yeah.
with everybody else.
Unless you're going to be serving it, and then we're going to split in tips.
Right. Here's the thing. I'm going to give a quick going out 101 for you folks at home because you need it. There should be a class. If you're going to leave your house and go be served somewhere, you should have to go to a class.
Yes.
So I'm going to give it to you right now.
Give it away.
And if you can't follow these instructions, stay home.
Stay home.
So here's the thing.
Yep.
If you can't afford to tip, stay home. Right? Bartenders and servers, they make squat. They're lucky if they make $5.25 an hour, right?
I guess I didn't mention that my paychecks are probably about $100 every 2 weeks.
If you're lucky, right?
Okay.
That's a good
They don't.
Yeah,
they don't
that's
work
a good
for the
one.
hourly. They work for the tips.
Right.
Okay, when you're tipping them, the one thing I always think of is, okay, do I want to give them a $2, $3 tip? That that $1 makes more to them than it does to me. It's like, oh, that's an extra buck.
Well, that's
it means nothing to me. That $1 that crap in my pocket, and I want to get rid of it. And it's like, oh, you're a nicer guy for giving him another $1. And
Can I add one more thing?
Wait.
Go ahead.
What does tip stand for? Tip stands for to ensure proper service.
Oh.
And
I've been doing this for years.
your best bet is
I think it
to
stands for rent.
give them a big freaking tip up front.
Pennies are not okay though.
I double the tax.
If I walked in and I bought
That
a
was
round of
my
beers
building.
for $8 and I gave you a 20 and I said keep it and I said keep them coming. My name's Scott.
You would be first in line.
I would
every
be first
time.
in line. You would see where I would. I would
Give a
walk
big
up to that
tip
bar,
and
and I would
Especially
say,
in that shirt, but
All right.
you know.
But let me finish my tipping 101. Let me do this because it's quick and it's easy. You don't even have to say all that.
All right,
Doc.
focus.
It's real quick and easy. If you can't afford a tip, you stay home. That's number one.
Okay, done.
Okay.
All right, you said your piece.
Number two. No, I didn't. Number two.
Oh, sorry.
Your bartenders, they work for like $5 an hour, $5.25 an hour. Everything that you do tip them, they have to claim, and it comes 100% out of their check. So if, for example, at the end of the night, they claim a $60 tip, $60 comes out of their paycheck. So of their $5 an hour, they basically work for free that day as far as their hourly wage
Why not
goes.
claim zero?
Okay. You have to you have to claim your credit card tips.
I don't care about Uncle Sam.
Doubling the tax is a good way to estimate, but you should do a little more than doubling the tax. If you're going to
25 to 30.
25 to 30 is
I love you.
an awesome tip. 15 is acceptable. We won't get angry with you. Less than 15, you're a jerk off. And that's basically the deal. So not everybody is comfortable with tipping. I'm just telling you, that's the way it works. If your personal issues with tipping, keep you from tipping people, that's all fine. But your personal issues are taking rent away from Claudia. So that's what I'm saying. That's all I have to say.
This just into the news.
Don't think of it as like tipping at dinner because a $10 you're not going to eat for $10.
Right.
And so 15% of $10 just sucks. So give them a little extra. Especially if somebody notices you right away.
I can't complain though. Because people are good.
Claudia does
and
all right.
as I say, the good always makes up for the bad.
It's really the people that they've got a $5 or $4.75 bill.
Yeah.
And they leave you $5.
Yeah.
Leave you that quarter. That's just lame. Don't leave them the extra. Think about what you're leaving them.
But I also complained when my place
go ahead, Matt. What do you
raised
got?
the price of beer from $4 to $4.50. I'm
Yeah.
like, great.
Correct me if I'm
My
wrong.
dollar went to 50 cents.
Exactly, yes.
Go ahead, Matt.
This is what I usually do. I usually tip $1 per drink that has been brought to me or my group.
There's your standard right
Okay.
there.
That's a good
That's your standard.
Matt,
$1 per
thank
drink.
you, Matt.
I'm
Love
a
it.
dollar. The beer's like $3.50, $4.25, whatever.
dollar.
I still leave
You
a
leave
dollar.
Yeah,
on top of
that's
that.
the
that
rule.
too.
That's a
and
good
again,
general rule.
if you're going to order more than one round, tip them heavy at the front.
And you get better service.
Ask them their name.
You do get better service.
Claudia Scott. Pretty soon, it's good as long as you're not rude. Don't ever be rude.
I have a global
And don't
question.
call me honey.
Go ahead.
honey,
Where do the tips apply?
Actually, even more than
United
that,
States of
No,
America
it's
or
not the same.
globally?
No, it's
don't call
it's
me
the
honey
listen,
is even
honey.
more important.
I didn't say honey.
No, I'm talking to Claudia.
No, no, no.
This is a U.S. standard
Respect
because
is earned.
globally the tip standard is not the same. Because other countries pay their bartenders to bartend.
So it's
This
already
is actually more of a
in their payroll costs.
Yes,
Or
they get paid a higher hourly wage.
So
or
$6 an hour.
well, no, there are bartenders who in other countries who make $10 to $12 an hour. There are bartenders in other countries who make $20 an hour
because they're mixing
Yeah,
lives.
I think
no,
it's
because
more of a California thing.
Yes, it is.
It's a U.S. thing. I don't know that most bartenders across the U.S. are getting paid much more than minimum wage.
Well, touche.
$8.
Touche.
Yeah.
I think it should be
But
paid
New York City, they're getting paid a hell of a lot more.
I'm glad you brought that up, though.
It should
New York,
it should be like the strippers. It should be pay to pour.
That's true.
Pay to pour. You want to pour in my joint? You're going to pay me up front,
Right.
and then you're going to pour more. You're going to make more.
By the
love
way,
it when
Dr.
we-
Scott bought me 3 lap dances in Reno like 3 years ago.
I love it when we turn to strippers. I just love it.
We went to that private room, and Johnny's never been to the private room.
Oh, I've been to the private room, but
I'm wrapping it up, guys. We're not getting to the private room. I think I have one last question, which is, will Drake's IPA be at the festival where?
Bistro in Hayward.
Oh, is Drake's IPA at the Bistro in Hayward?
Yes.
It is. That's the question.
No, will it be at the IPA festival?
Oh,
Yes.
there's an
Say your
IPA
question
festival.
again.
IPA
It's some of the chat room.
festival.
Specify.
Will it be at the IPA festival at the Bistro in Hayward?
It will be.
It will be. There you go.
And we'll actually be pouring at the GABF this year.
nice.
Okay.
And if you ask real nice, he might pull something from behind the counter.
Might.
Might. But you got to ask nice
Yeah.
and tip heavily.
Are you guys running out of here? Are you gonna hang out and drink beer on our back porch with us?
We're going to drink beer and play poker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he saw the poker chips. His eyes light up. His head went extra shiny. It was awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
Roger and I are
that
going
was
to
a-
be good
this
friends.
is- yeah.
I just want you all to know.
Crazy show, by the way.
Yes, it was long. It was good. We thought it wasn't even going to happen because our stream wasn't working
We had to
5
let it
minutes
go. Who
before we
cares?
went on air. But good show. Roger, thanks very much for coming in.
Thank
It's been
you,
a pleasure
Roger.
anytime.
Okay,
And Claudia?
cool. Yeah, Claudia, thank you. We'll see you at the
All right.
21st Amendment, right?
DrinkDrakes.com.
Doc,
Yeah.
I'll see you on the back porch.
Wait, what does that mean?
Last week I was here till after midnight.
What does that mean?
Well, it was we looked like, what's that noise? There's fireworks show going off over there, and it's like,
Yeah.
and we got 2 kegs.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, where are you going to go?
Yeah. And I don't have to work the next day because it's Monday, like many of our Aussie friends now.
That's right. Yeah, taking off work. Australians, Aussies, thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
Everyone
Yeah,
else across
guys,
the country.
thanks.
Johnny P, you going to make it through the night?
Yeah, I'm fine.
He's got that
Okay.
smile.
He's got that
I got a big old grin.
Fabio look.
All right.
He is Fabio.
Maybe by this time next week we'll have a real website for you guys to look at. Who knows?
No.
Maybe
we'll,
not.
We'll wait till 2006.
I can't believe it's not beer.
In the meantime, if you have some feedback, send it to
bye,
Justin
Matt.
at thebrewingnetwork.com. Thank you for working the chat room, Matt.
My pleasure. Glad to be here.
You're cool. Matt's always helpful to us.
Thanks for listening.
When are you going to put our pictures up on Doze? I checked it out the other day.
Slack.
When are you going to update those? I gotta just
When are you
edge
gonna
that
do
one
this?
in
No,
there.
I just opened a can of worms. Never
All right.
mind.
Never mind. Okay. Beer is good for you. Drink.
Next week's show, I'm not sure, actually.
Yeah, I'd like to know 2 days, like a week before is better than 2 days before.
Yeah, so would I.
Yeah, what are we going to talk about next?
We'll figure it out. In a couple
I
of
think
days.
match conversions, because that's what I'm talking about at the next meeting, so.
We'll figure it out.
We could possibly do mash
We could do
conversions.
mash.
We'll let you know in the
That
forum.
kind of ties into water, so we'll let you
Well,
know.
yeah, it's good. It really does tie into water with enzymes and cool stuff.
Yeah.
Enzymes are cool, dudes.
All right, we'll let you know on the forum. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Pale ale is a friend of mine, and I sure like good barley wine. Chocolate porter, cherry stout, don't you know what I am talking about? Don't you give me that American crude, boys, I want a real homebrew. Homebrew, don't you really love it? Homebrew, can't get enough of it. Homebrew, it blows my mind. I love homebrew all the time. Yeah, I think I have me, well, I have me one right now. They should know how to get down. Double and triple on my best friend. I think I'll have them all over again. But don't you give me that American cruise, boys, I want a real homebrew. Homebrew, don't you really love it? That homebrew, can't get enough of it. Homebrew, it blows my mind. I love homebrew all of the time. Yeah, I think I'll have me, well, I'll have me one right now. Give me a wheat beer on a hot summer day. A bark will do me when the skies are gray. I'll take a Belgian brew anytime, and the women sing the lambic fine. But don't you give me that American crude, boys, I want a real homebrew. Homebrew, don't you really love it? That homebrew, can't get enough of it. Homebrew, it blows my mind. I love homebrew all of the time. Yeah, I think I'll have me, well, I'm the one right now. Cherry stout, yeah, you know what I am talking about. But don't you give me that American crude, boys, I want a real homebrew. Homebrew, don't you really love it? That homebrew, can't get enough of it. Homebrew, it blows my mind. I love homebrew all the time. Yeah, I think I have that